Brian on Facebook and said that I would debate Ross if we did 2-minute mutes back and forth.
You're gonna have to with him. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. And then, yeah, 2-minute mutes. And I'll debate him then. Because I couldn't handle it. He just, like, when I tried to debate him with Craig, Fight the Flat Earth, he just kept over talking me the entire time. It's horrible. Anyways, so let's talk about that. Let's go over the openings. So, who opened first? I think it was Ross opened first. So, what did we think about Ross's opening? We'll start with you, Billy.
Pretty standard. Talking about the thinking that we don't move, and then Aries' failure, cherry picking Einstein quotes, claiming we're in the center of the cosmos, and then he's using CMB as his evidence that we're in the center, even though that doesn't make sense. And then surfaces not curved. I was like, okay, everything is energy. Okay, science denying preacher. Okay.
Yeah. And the CMB stuff, the center was saying the ecliptic, the solar system ecliptic, had some anomalous readings that makes the solar system soul. That's why Lawrence Krauss was appealing to Copernicus, because Copernicus was seeing that the solar system was the center of reality. The solar system, not Earth. If those anomalous readings were correct, when during the certain portions of the orbit of the Earth around Sol, then the sun would be the center of the universe, not the Earth. So we did another test. I think it was in 2016, and we got better readings. It didn't have the anomalous readings. So that's was, they call it the axis of evil. I hate how scientists coin stuff like that, but just to add some context to that. I don't know where this came from. I think it's something Witsit's come out with recently. I just want to, and thank you so much, Chase Hatchet, for the $2. Yeah, that dude has to be trolling. I think it's a little bit performative trolling, doing it for a show. And then we'll go to DJ Batman. What did you think about Ross's opening?
Oh my goodness. Just a lot of the stuff he brought up, like the Earth is the center of the universe, sun, we don't go around the sun. It's just like we know all this stuff. Like we have enough research, enough evidence that it just like all the stuff points he brought up in the very beginning were just absolutely debunked. So it was just nonsense as usual for flat Earth. Just saying, well, I observed this, so it must be that. And it's like, yeah, I can observe a lot of things. I can look up at the clouds and see a hamburger. Doesn't mean it's actually a hamburger. It's a cloud. It's just how I perceive things. So, you'd actually have to understand how things work and how we as humans look at stuff and perceive things based on our own understanding of things. But the more you learn about things, the more you understand what you're looking at, so you can go like, hey, actually that's not what it is, it's actually this. But unfortunately there are people on the flat earth side that seem to want to stay with this certain narrative and not ever question their own way of thinking. And that's the thing I always tell people: you have to question everything, but just don't question it so much you become insane.
Ardor S Force, I can't pronounce that name. Sterile Zero Proof of the Globe. And there's some other posts I saw that I thought were good, but I'll come back to you. Because I noticed you're a flat earther, please come up on stage and give your input, because I don't just want this just to be a flat earth or a true earth show. I want some flat earthers on stage. So not just true earthers on stage. So let's get some flat earthers up here so you can tell us what you thought of Ross's performance and PhD's performance and why you thought Tony's opening argument was not evidence for the globe, because I disagree. So please, if you're a flat earther watching this, please click the little link for StreamYards. You don't need to use a camera, but please at least use a microphone. I appreciate that. And yeah, Glober Mom, I think he's a little bit of everything, troll and everything else. And like all his proofs were all over the place. But if you want any questions for the panel, please tag at Matters Now, and I'll tag it. And when I see it's appropriate, I'll ask those questions of the panel. But what did you think, Issa, about Ross's opening? If you got a chance to see it.
Oh, I definitely saw it. I think Ross was he's very, very entertaining. He reminds me of the former President Trump at the Republican debates. It's the same type of performance. It's literally the same type of thing, just coming in and being an entertainer. So that's what I think he was doing. He was entertaining himself. He was entertaining the people in the crowd. All the people got upset. And I'm like, that's exactly what he wants. He got exactly what he wants. And I find it so funny that people don't understand that.
Really quick. PhD Tony, there's a pinned post. If you want to join the stage, feel free to join your stage. You're more than welcome to join. Thank you so much for putting up with Ross. Sounds like he has his own show. I seem to be the Ross whisperer. I did agree to debate him, but if you're wiped out, I can understand why you'd be wiped out and didn't want to come on the stage. But thank you for the show tonight. But yeah, did you have something else to say? So sorry to interrupt.
I was saying that I think that Ross's whole goal is to trigger emotions, and he won. That's what he literally got, what he wanted. Do I believe he's invested in what he's talking about? No. He has a charisma. He has a kind of a charm that he comes in and he's like, I'm just going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. I'm not actually even whatever is being talked about, but I want to come in and get attention. And he got it. So that's what I felt about the whole debate in just a nutshell.
Yeah, I have a picture of PhD Tony in the background too. Look at this. All right. So now we get to talk about PhD. Let me talk about Ross. So Ross's opening, the only thing he brought up that I thought, oh good, we got both of them. The only thing I thought Ross brought up that was evidence that could possibly support the flat earth, only because he doesn't understand the claim, is microwave propagation. But you guys never actually talked about that during the debate. All the other claims about ether, Aries failure, Michelson Morley, the cosmic microwave background radiation, the ecliptic would just be like the Lawrence Krauss claim would just be like Sol would be the center of the universe if the anomalies were true, which we found out they weren't true when we went and retested it. They were just anomalies in the readings. None of them were evidence for flat Earth, and even the radio propagations. All of those are explained by tropospheric ducting, by atmospheric conditions, and they all have to be specifically prepared. Like the longest microwave tower transmission system is something like 250 kilometers, I think, and the towers are something like 2,500 meters in altitude, and with minimal refraction, like low amount of refraction, you need the most minimal amount of refraction. It puts the towers in line of sight. If the towers are at the low end, like we're at the not the low end, but they're like tall towers, like like 80-meter towers. So if they're 80-meter towers and there's minimal amount of refraction, and they designed it to be tall towers at high altitudes, long distance, and it's engineered to be the longest microwave communication system in the world, to be line of sight in between those 2 points over in the Middle East, and it was line of sight. So all of these examples, they always pull up. It's either very specific, and the people that do this find specific atmospheric conditions. And I wish this had come up during the conversation, but I doubt that Ross actually understands it. So he just shows a slide that says, "Ooh, look at this." He doesn't understand telecommunication theory well enough to even talk about it. And I don't know what your understanding of it.
If I could just get in there quickly, I noticed there's no one here on Ross's side, so I'm going to have to be devil's advocate and defend Ross. And the only way I think I could do that is by interrupting Tony at every opportunity.
But let's get your opinion, Simos, about Ross's.
I can't interrupt myself, so I don't know what you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously Ross is an arse clown, and that's just no other way of putting it. Okay. So everything he said was bollocks. Every claim he made was just unsupported. It's just, I mean, he's one of the worst flat earthers as it goes that I could think of, and I don't know why people entertain such nonsense. I really don't. But
Dustin Nemos, I think,
you know,
and Caleb, I think, are words. But
I think I've accurately portrayed his arguments.
Yeah. I think Dustin Nemos and Caleb are worth only because of the characters of the people. And I think Ross is just performative. And I think Kyle Adams is less capable than Ross is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so's the circus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. I just messaged Ryan when he challenged me to a debate to see maybe I can. And Ross is. I don't think debates about winner or losing.
You're being over generous by calling it a debate straight away. Okay. You know, that's just a non sequitur. So.
Yeah. I told when he challenged me to a conversation.
Thank you.
Okay. That I would only do it if we did like 2-minute mutes. Because the last time I tried to have a conversation with Ross, all he did was interrupt me, and Ryan was so confused what was going on. Ryan kept muting me. And I was annoyed as hell. And I sort of had been annoyed with Ryan since. And when I sent the super chats, and I wasn't trying to diss modern day debate, I was just trying to say, because of course I sent the money to modern day debate. Mm-hmm. I was trying to diss Ross a little bit.
Yeah. But, and Tony, I just want to say, you know, I'm glad you're able to get through that, but nobody deserves to put up with that kind of stuff. That was just ridiculous. So yeah,
I find it a little bit galling. Like I studied, as I say, I studied the shape of the Earth for 30 years and its gravitational field, and to have myself and my colleagues, our expertise, just dismissed and represented as lies, it's aggravating. And so, you know, there are some people who sort of, you know, aren't happy that I come across as so angry and bitter, but it's rather more personal for me than they might imagine. If somebody is coming in and telling you that something you've dedicated your entire professional existence to is something you know nothing about, that's actually a very personal thing. And I'm not actually the most temperate person in the world at the best of times, so that doesn't help.
I loved it when he said, "Treat me like you're my professor in class." I'm sorry, if you were in my class, you'd be expelled, Ross.
That was good.
You'd be gone.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. Well, why don't you shut up? You know, that's what I would say to a student that was being as disrespectful as you. But like I got to say a couple of things about Tony's side, because I really enjoyed it, Tony.
We're on
I've seen
Tony
you
now.
debate once before, and you know, and it didn't float my boat because of what I'm into and stuff. But some of the arguments you put today, you know, I hadn't heard of. A, I hadn't heard of them, and B, I did recognize. You know, I understood what you were saying. So I've got a basic physics background, but it's basic
Mhm.
physics. And yet, the way you explained it, I understood, and more so, I understood that you were addressing the points that were being brought up, and that's where I found Ross to be an arse clown, because no sooner would he would ask the question, you would present the experiment and give an explanation of the experiment, which answered the question that he was asking. He would then deny that that was an answer, and then deny that he'd even asked the question, which is just, you know, I get why that's extremely frustrating.
It was worse than that. He would take the first few words of your response to straw man your answer instead of waiting for you to finish the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's the interrupting thing. But like the point I would make is that, you know, he would not just misunderstand the answer when clearly he did understand it. There was a couple of times when he said, "Yeah, I get that," and then you go, "Okay, yeah," and then he'd say something to confirm that he got it, and then he would misunderstand it, which is so dishonest. But not only that, not only would he strawman the argument in order to say he didn't, you know, that it was wrong, he would also then say, "But flat Earth is right because it's impossible that it's wrong." So not only would he strawman, he would then give an argument from incredulity to say that he was right. So I mean, logically, this guy's all over the shop.
What did you think of Tony's opening? That's really the next topic. We try to have a somewhat of form. But before we go to that, let me go to the super chats. We got some super chat in. Chase Hatchet sent $2 in. Thank you so much, Jake. I feel like the Rick and Morty poster gave it away. I don't know. He likes Rick and Morty and Dragon Ball Z. I saw the posters. He's young. Yeah. He looks like he's 30. I like both of them, and I'm 50.
Yeah, even Dragon Ball Z doesn't have flat Earth dumbass shit. So.
Well, that's the animation. I had that debate yesterday with T-Rock about did men walk with dinosaurs. I'm an atheist too. People think I'm a Christian now because I granted that the Bible was true and God exists, just to debate whether dinosaurs walked with man, whether the Bible said the dinosaurs existed or not during the times in Job and stuff. So people think, oh, you're a Christian pretending to be an atheist. No, I'm not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I don't know why I went there. Oh yeah, because I showed pictures of like Dragonlance artwork and stuff. Look, we can make artwork of dragons that are anatomically correct. It doesn't mean dragons exist. It's the same thing with all these claims. Like, we can make up stories about stuff, about anything. It doesn't mean it's true unless it can predict stuff in the future. We can make up images of the flat Earth. It doesn't mean it's true unless it can predict the future. And they'll say, well, you don't know if space-time's actually curving. But when we use that predictive model, we can show time dilation exists due to gravity at the micron scale. Micron's a distance. And when I say micron, I mean hair width scale. We can tell at the hair width scale that we can measure time dilation, that the rate flow of time is different at the elevation at the hair width scale. Like 200 microns, I think, is the smallest difference in elevation we've measured time dilation due to the concept of general relativity, right? Yeah. So you can say, well, you can't know for certain if those concepts are true or not. But if those concepts are providing predictive power and we are able to make observations and tests based upon that predictive power, it gives some credence philosophically. If you want to, I thought that was great. You brought that up. Like, is gravity mass attracts mass? Is it the curving of space time? Right? Because philosophically, yes, it not either is true. Right? You can say the curving of space time is what mass does,
Yep.
which is mass attracts mass. There's no contradiction in that concept to me.
No.
Yeah. So, and it's what in mass, larger masses causes time to slow down in relationship to areas that is not exposed to as much gravitational force. We know this is true because we've measured it, and it's predicted by the model. So does that mean the concepts are for certain true? No, because you always have the problem of induction. Always have a problem of induction. Does it raise the bar for justification to accept that the concepts are true? By certain, am I justified in believing it's true? I think I am. I think I am. So can I say the space, bending the space-time is a concrete thing that exists in reality? I could say that is true, but the probability is higher than it's not, because we actually have observation and tests that we can do. I guess I'll wait for the super chat if people want to respond to that, because I spent a whole bunch of time talking, but I just wanted to say that.
Well, yeah, it's one of the things. I spoke to a PhD physicist friend of mine about this entire thing of, is gravity a force or not? And he said, it doesn't matter. You can think of it as a force if you want, but ultimately what you're modeling is the difference in the force applied to the observer and the force applied to the observed object. It is that difference that you're observing and that you're modeling. So it's there is no inherent distinction, and Ross trying to assert that there was simply a misrepresentation of how science is understood.
Yeah, I actually bought a Cavendish balance test, but it came and the glass was broke, so I had to send it back. I cut myself in a couple places.
Okay.
So I bought the material for a focal pendulum. So I'm actually going to be doing it's a United Science or whatever it is experiment. So I'm actually going to be doing the Cavendish experiment at home and a focal pendulum at home. So like, if people want to see me, I'll be able to show them. Look, I did it right here. Mass attracts mass, and it does the best we can to isolate for electrostatics and electromagnetism. And the reason why Real offended Ross, I asked what the independent dependent variables were for Coulomb's law, is so if you can understand the difference between how we can measure for electrostatic forces versus gravitational forces. That's why I asked you that question.
Your mic's not working, Rose.
Yeah, I just want to say, how's everybody doing? Ozzy, it's always good to see you. It's always good to see you, sir. I almost quote you in the beginning of the debate, but my internet was going too slow. I had a video of you ready to go. You remember that time that you said you would not have accepted Einstein? I'll never forget that, Ozzy, and I will always respect you for that.
Well, I think most people, almost the entire panel, agreed with that. They wouldn't have accepted Einstein's paper when it was first published until we had the.
Yeah, Leo disagreed with you, and I had just gotten done debating him, and he didn't understand why.
No, Leo would agree. Leo was there; he agreed.
I'll have to revisit that clip. But anyways, how's everybody?
Well,
doing
let's
tonight?
ask PhD Tony.
Shout out to
Let's
the
ask
chat.
PhD Tony. Hey, Tony.
Yes.
And was it 1905 when Einstein published special relativity?
Yes, I think it was 1915.
Would you
general.
Yeah, would you accept it?
General, and
yeah.
Let me just put the question the right way, Ozzy, because the question was about gravity. not special relativity.
Okay, would you accept it general relativity in 1915 as soon as the paper was published?
As the correct model, as true.
Correct model.
I don't think I would have been inclined to. The one observational thing that he got right there that we knew of in 1915 was the precession of Mercury's orbit, and I wouldn't have considered that to have sealed the deal per se. So I would have been a little skeptical, as many physicists were. It would have taken subsequent observations like the Eddington experiment. I noticed that Ross put up some very old quotes about the Eddington experiment that have been debunked and shown to be completely false. So he may want to revisit modern scholarship on the subject, because there's absolutely no suggestion in the modern assessment that Eddington fudged any of his results or did anything wrong.
No, there's tons of evidence for that, and it's not just the one paper that I cited. There's tons of people that have thought this all through the years. I can't even believe that you guys are still invoking that.
But more people have done the Eddington experiment other than just Eddington.
I would hope that somebody, and I would hope they would invoke those instead of Eddington. So why do they keep invoking Eddington? and I'm confused. Why not invoke those other ones?
Because it wasn't suspect. You saying that it was suspect. The recent scholarship has shown that that's wrong. That hypothesis was developed by some philosophers of science, and it was popularized based on their work, but it is not the accepted position. So there are entire books written on them. The book Shadow of a Doubt, for instance, deals with this in detail and demonstrates that there's sorry, I'll need to look up who the author is. No Shadow of Doubt, Eddington, Dyson, and the book is by a guy by the name of Daniel Kennefick, who has written a couple of papers on the history of this observation, and he demonstrates that the citations that you quote are actually wrong in what they suggested. So what you're doing is, what you have done is you found a quote that you like, and then you've ignored subsequent evidence that has disproved what you're saying.
No, I didn't ignore any subsequent evidence, but
let me ask you about this. Let me ask you about this, Ross. How we use GR to predict that time dilation was true, and then we built
that time dilation was true.
Yes, we used GR to predict time dilation.
I don't believe
due to gravity.
I don't believe that has been confirmed necessarily.
Let me finish. We used GR to predict time dilation due to gravitational forces. Okay. General relativity paper published in 1915 predicted that due to gravitational forces, time dilation, not just speed due to special relativity, but
you're saying time slows down.
Time would slow down as you approach greater gravity. As you approach a mass, time slows down.
See, to me, this is now like more pseudoscience and trying to stretch the laws of physics to fit what you believe, because the observations do not match.
So it would
yes,
stretch the laws of physics if observations didn't match it. But now let's get into the observations. So GR predicts that time dilation as you approach a mass would happen.
That time changes. Just to be clear, you're saying that the
time doesn't change.
Changes.
No, time doesn't change. The rate of time
slows down.
Is always the same in your frame of reference. The rate of time in your frame, local frame, is always the same.
So then it doesn't change.
The rate of time, let's be very, very clear here. For your local frame, where your lab frame is where your clock is. The rate of time where the clock is never changes. The dink, 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 dink. That atomic clock, that rate never changes within that lab frame. That makes sense?
Yeah. So how do we know time dilation is true?
Okay. So now we got that. So general relativity says within the lab frame, time never changes. Right? Okay, we're clear. So what GR says, between a lab frame that is closer to the center mass and a lab frame that is further away from the center of mass, those two, the clock that is closer to the center of mass will be slower than the clock that is further away from the center of mass. That's what it predicts. You understand so far?
Yeah. We've talked about this before.
So okay. So that's what it predicts. So the clock that's closer to the center of mass, we predict that it'll be slower. The clock that's further away from the center of mass, we predict that it'll be faster. That's the prediction. So we measured like 200 microns. A micron is very small. It's like at the width of a hair, okay? 200 microns. So we built these little miniature clocks. There are 200 microns in elevation. So center and mass would be the Earth. And then we built what we called a ladder. When I say ladder, I don't mean like a ladder we stand on. I mean ladder is in that is a higher elevation from the center of the mass of the Earth. So we took two clocks. We put one clock at, we'll call elevation 0, and we put another clock 200 microns above the clock that's at elevation 0. The clock that was 200 microns above this clock ran faster than the clock that's at elevation 0, predicted by general relativity, by gravity.
Oh, so I don't think he understands that though.
He doesn't have to understand it, but it's empirical test.
What's your name, Sam?
Sam? Yeah.
All right. So explain to me how time slows down then, since you're so smart. Go ahead.
Are you talking about relativity?
I want you to explain what he just explained to us right now. Since you got it. Go ahead.
But he just
Are you talking about
explained
relativity or time dilation?
What you just explained that I didn't understand. Don't ask me questions, right? I don't get it.
Well, I'm asking you questions like, what do you want to know?
What you just said I don't understand, genius.
Well,
no, I'm saying you don't understand what Oz is trying to.
Did you understand what I said? I don't think you have to understand the math.
Explain it to me then. Go ahead, since you understand it.
Okay, if I can come in here.
Sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
That's okay. We have laboratory results.
Tony, before you go, Tony, I just want to say, bro, don't come up and say I don't understand something if you can't explain it yourself. Because now you look like a buffoon.
He didn't say you don't understand. He didn't say that. You're straw manning what he said there. He said he thinks you don't.
Are you saving him now? He can't talk for himself.
He said he thinks.
Other grown men to come save him.
Why are you interrupting me now as well? Why are you interrupting me as well?
Okay.
Because I wasn't talking to you.
I don't think it's fair.
Let Tony say what he had to say.
Well, don't get upset, dude. Come on now, calm down.
I don't think it was fair,
Okay.
Sam. You should give him a chance to respond first.
So we can use electron transitions between the various energy levels in atoms as clocks. Do you understand that?
I'm sorry. I'm adjusting. I didn't hear that. Say it again.
Okay. We can use the transitions in energy levels of electrons as clocks.
Okay, yes. Yeah, you're measuring rate of change.
Yeah, well, we're measuring the number of transitions that occur between the various energy levels inside an atom. That's how we're measuring time. A certain number of those in a particular style of atom is equal to a second. So what we can do is we can take two atomic clocks, we can have them very different, or slightly different in position, in vertical height, and we can count the number of transitions for them both. Now, if time travels the same at both levels, then we should end up with the same number. If time travels differently at the two levels, we'll end up with a different number of transitions, right?
Yeah, I'm following you, sir. I'm sorry,
Okay,
they're saying my
so
audio's
when we
not
do
coming
this,
through. Yeah, they're saying that my audio's not coming through right now. So I'm
okay,
trying to fix it.
all right.
Right?
So
Far
we
away, is
do
correct?
that.
Mike's all fucked up, man.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
you
yeah,
are
see,
having some hardware issues.
As always. Go ahead. I'm listening, though.
Okay, so we use atomic clocks that are, well, yeah, we use optical clocks or atomic clocks that are very close together but separated in height. So there are different gravitational potentials. Now, general relativity tells us that those two clocks should run at different rates. And when we do this in the laboratory, we see that actually that's true, that they do run at different rates at different heights. So how does that happen if general relativity and we see that the magnitude of the difference in the counts is exactly what is predicted by general relativity. So how does that happen?
I guess my audio is still a little bit bad, but Ocean already covered the model thing, and we went over this too, right? Even if you do,
Yeah, but this is observational validation.
You're measuring
of a
electrons, aren't you? Aren't you measuring electrons?
Yes.
Yes. So
electron
that would mean
transition.
There's a change in the rate of electrons, not the change of some mysterious concept we made up called time. All right. It's a concept in general for it to slow down or speed up. It can't slow down or speed up. It's just a concept. So the electron rate is slowing down and speeding up. That's all you.
That's absolute. So you time is defined in the length of a second is defined by the number of transitions between the lowest energy level and I think the hyperfine energy level on a cesium-133 atom. I think that's how time is defined. So you can't say that how time is defined is not important to interpreting how time behaves.
I didn't say any of that. I just said that all you have proven is the difference in the thing you're actually measuring, not a false concept called time.
Okay, so you could all measurements are made up. What's that matter?
Yeah.
Who cares? We make up measurements. It doesn't mean
right, so
length,
it's
width,
not
and
conclusive
height.
Evidence. It's not conclusive evidence either way.
Are you kidding me? All measurements are made up. Length, width, and height.
Ozian, the word is measures, not measurements.
Whatever. I'm
all
an
measures
American.
are made up. Yeah.
I'm an American, not an English.
Okay.
Well,
all measures.
Can Ross falsify relativity? That's what we want to know.
I just wanted. This is a philosophical point.
And they're kind of defined rather than made up.
All measures are
correct,
defined.
Simos.
Okay, fine. Yes. Okay. All measures are defined by humans. We defined what a meter is. We defined what a gram is. We decided this is what a gram's going to be. This is what a cubic centimeter is going to be. A lot of these definitions for weights and measures are based on water. Originally, were based on water. Okay.
Okay. So what is time then, Ozian? How have we defined time? What is time?
Time is a dimension.
Yeah.
I just explained this to you. 1 second is a certain number of transitions of an electron in a cesium atom, in a particular isotope of the cesium atom.
Cesium-133.
Yeah, I thought that was it, but I wasn't going to. And you know, it's the lowest level. It's transitions between the lowest level. You can look this up. You know, what is the definition of a second, and it'll tell you.
Sorry, Tony.
It always spins clockwise too.
I'm talking to the people on my stream, letting them know that I'm ending my stream, and then going to share this one so they can hear the audio fine. Because my audio is working fine until I try to do the dual stream. So that's what I'm telling my audience.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so we decided that we are going. We have this concept of a second, so I guess we found out what a second would be, which is this cesium-133, right? So there you go.
Yep.
Also, I want to add on to what Tony said with respect to having empirically confirmed both length contraction and time dilation. These variations can be precisely measured in particle decay experiments, where there are particles whose decay results should exist for so little amount of time that our instruments should not be sensitive enough to detect them. But nevertheless, we detect them when they're moving at speeds very close to the speed of light. This is how the muons, which is just a particular, it's like an electron, it just has more mass. That's about it. Muons are created by cosmic rays interacting with particles high in Earth's atmosphere. But these muons should decay so quickly that our detectors on the Earth at surface level should not be able to pick up these muons. But nevertheless, we do. And that's because the length that they're traveling is shortened and the time for which they're existing is lengthened, empirically confirming both length contraction and time dilation.
And that's SR.
We can also do controlled experiments of this in particle accelerators, where the decays of particles are affected by their velocity. Also, the mass of the particles, or their resistance to acceleration, increases as they approach the speed of light. This is observationally confirmed in controlled experiments inside particle accelerators. So the amount of validation we have for special relativity is absurdly overwhelming, and the claim that the claim that there's any gap through which you can sort of insert some sort of doubt is nonsense. And I will go with the other one, which is the gravitational time dilation is strictly necessary for GPS to work. We need to incorporate the fact that the GPS satellites are at a much weaker gravity with a much faster rate of speed. If we weren't including that one, then we wouldn't get results that are accurate to the kilometer. The fact that we can get sub-meter and with enough time sub-centimeter accuracy with GPS just relies implicitly on the accuracy of general relativity.
Okay. All of modern physics is founded upon relativity. I think that's something that should be clarified.
I think we should let Ross say something at least.
Is my mic working better, by the way, or is it still far?
It's still a little bit quiet, but it's better. It's not crackling. It's not dropping out. So that's good.
I just want to make sure that it's coming through my actual mic and not the. Is that different at all?
Yeah,
that's different. Yeah.
That's better.
Check to see if you got the right mic set in the StreamYard.
That's good right there, though, or no?
It's a little quiet.
No, it's not good. It's just
still quiet. It's still quiet. All right. You guys keep going. I don't want to mess up the stream with my quiet.
No, you're part of the stream.
Yeah, I know, but I want
another
to
thing
good.
with well, you still sound okay. I can just turn you up a little bit. Let's see.
I don't know why.
I'll just turn you up a little bit. Another thing with GPS is you need at least 4 satellites to be able to get time.
Yeah,
you need 4 satellites to get time.
Just say your response, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Go ahead, Ross. You should be good now.
Actually, I've got to go, gentlemen. Thank you. And apologies to Ross for when I lost my temper. And also, I wanted to acknowledge Issa. He was exactly right in what he said. That it was just done to get a reaction out of me, and it did. So failure on my end. But anyway, talk to you later.
Okay.
Hey, Tony. Bye.
Easy, Tony.
Thank you, Pastor Tony. We have room for more flat earthers or globe
a scholar and a gentleman. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, I'm a
until somebody calls him a pastor, and then.
Rose, come on now. That's below the belt, right?
Huh?
It wasn't very polite.
Huh?
Oh, you can hear me better now, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. I also turned you up. You sound muffled though.
But... I switched the mic, I think.
All right,
that
all right.
sounds
That's
all right.
better.
That sounds good.
All right, Sam, was that Sam that's called me Rose?
Call you
No.
what?
Who? All right, who's that? My bad, I wasn't paying attention. Who called me Rose and said I was
Simon
hitting
said.
below the belt because I called him a pastor? How is that below the belt?
No, that's not me, man.
It was Simon
I
that called
asked.
you that.
That's why I asked. All right.
It was impolite. I said it was not polite during the debate to.
It wasn't
use
polite.
that
I'll give you that. It wasn't polite, but it wasn't hitting below the belt. Well, you're a pastor. I have good reason why I think that. I don't say you're a pastor and then don't explain it. Ask me why. Because you read a book, you try to teach me from the book. There's no confirmation from it, and you say if I don't believe your book, then I'm an idiot. You're a pastor. What are you talking about?
I don't know,
What
man.
book?
Calling him some kind of like carbohydrate product from Italy is just below the belt.
I called him carbohydrate product from Italy.
Stoic says you don't need. Stoic says you don't need satellites for GPS. Stoic, you don't understand how GPS. Stoic probably thinks GPS is what you use on your cell phones to navigate.
Most of GPS is underground cables, if I'm not mistaken.
No, GPS is not
Obviously
what
you
you
are.
use on your cell phone.
And not underground tables and towers. GPS doesn't use towers.
I think you're thinking of the internet.
You're
No, I'm thinking of GPS.
No,
you're
you're not.
You're
Okay.
thinking of cell phones.
So if I Google right now, did they use GPS before satellites and without satellites? You're saying nothing's
Yeah, and it was not very accurate at all.
Not GPS.
Yeah.
Oh, so they did use it. Oh, okay.
It was
Did
not
we
GPS.
have?
But Ross.
Okay. So Stoic was right. Shout out Stoic. You know what I mean? Dropping
No, it
knowledge.
was not
Stoic is not
GPS.
correct.
Ross.
It wasn't. It wasn't a global positioning system. It was. I mean, like, yeah, we had a way of navigating the planet before GPS that was not nearly as good as
I agree with
GPS,
that. I agree with
but
that.
is also not GPS
No, we did not. What way did we have before GPS?
to navigate.
We had Loran.
You guys work it out. Y'all work it out and come back to me.
Yeah, Leo, what way?
As far as I
Right?
understood, they used
Right?
various forms of radar and then like latitude and longitude charts and like
Yeah.
they had technology
Really?
to navigate.
We didn't have
'Cause
cell
they
phones.
Did it
Obviously,
like
Leo has used
1,000 years
Google.
ago.
Leo
We
has
didn't
used
use-
Google
wait,
before,
wait.
and he knows
Okay.
the truth.
We didn't
I
use the
use Google,
internet
too.
ever. We use internet cell towers for for navigation, but that's not. And they sync with GPS, but GPS uses satellites. So
Yeah.
it combines cell tower navigation with satellite navigation. But true GPS, which I use for my work, only uses satellites. It doesn't use.
There was an interesting thing when they put up the first
Cell
GPS satellite, which was they included a switch on it in case that Einstein was wrong, and that they could then switch off in order to get it to work. But of course, they didn't have to use it because Einstein was correct.
Well,
Yeah,
not just that,
clearly.
but then you have stuff like Garmin, who has been around for a long time, that uses strictly satellites. Now you have companies like Apple and Samsung and others that are implementing features into the newer phones so that if you're out away from civilization, you can still contact emergency services using satellites because it will literally show where you have to point to make sure you get a direct signal with the satellite.
Well, I would have to be shown that those are. I would have to be shown that those are satellites and not satelloons. But let me ask you guys a question.
Oh my
What's
God.
the
guys-
difference?
you guys-
Be
I have a question,
balloons.
real quick. I have a question.
Can you
You
prove
guys-
those are satelloons? Like, can you prove
Well, what's the
those
difference?
Well,
Is
one
there
would
any
be
functional difference
outside
between
orbit.
the two of these?
One would be outside orbit. The other would be, I guess, inside. So do you guys
What?
accept the
But
existence of-
both of them would be orbiting because they're satellites. What do
Yeah,
you mean
that's-
inside
Okay,
orbit and
I-
outside orbit?
Yeah,
I
well,
think what
I
you
guess-
mean
I
is
guess the
low
difference is the
Earth
balloon then.
orbit and high
balloon.
Earth orbit. That's what I think that you're talking about.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
GPS satellites are not in low Earth orbit.
Okay, well, I would have to see some more data on that. So, but do you guys accept the existence of
You'd have to see
geostationary
some
satellites?
data stuff,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, geostationary
Yes.
satellites are a thing. Yeah.
You
Okay,
can
okay.
point
Yeah.
at them.
So,
They actually proved the Earth is a globe too. Geostationary satellites.
Okay, but this is my question about geostationary satellites. I brought this up in the debate today. So if geostationary satellites are up, they're above the same spot on Earth, right? They're above the same spot. All right, and the Earth is moving 1,000 miles per hour. So obviously the geostationary satellite is moving way faster than 1,000 miles per hour.
Yes, that's correct.
Speed?
All you have to do is
how does it
show
pick
us
up the extra
flatter
speed?
model.
Because it was launched off the Earth that is already rotating and already has momentum tied with its velocity needed to escape Earth's gravitational field, actually get into orbit, which adds energy, which adds momentum to the system. Yeah, that this is kind of how rocketry works.
Rockets.
This is a matter of great debate as well, but I want to know.
I thought you didn't deny
from.
Wait, I thought you didn't deny physics. What are the laws of motion?
I don't deny physics.
What are
the laws of motion say that the laws of motion say that if you're traveling,
there's 3 laws of motion. What are they?
I'm saying, listen. Let's not get sidetracked.
There's only 3. What are they?
Listen, sir. You're not letting me do this to me today. I'm not letting you do this to me today. All right, don't distract me. Like I was saying, my point is that if the Earth is moving,
only 3.
If the Earth is moving, right, and there's a satellite staying above that same position, how does it pick up the extra speed? You're saying because it got launched or whatever?
Yep,
No. You said something. You said something that was not
what I said was the answer. Now you're not accepting it as the answer because of
why yes. I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting it.
It's your whole thing to not accept the answer, but that was the correct answer. Yes.
What's the first law of motion? Just the first one.
It was not that does not explain how something can pick up a velocity to stay in place.
You didn't understand how it explains that, but it does. Yes, it does.
Can you tell me the first law of motion? Just the first one that explains it. Can you tell me the first law of motion that'll explain it?
Ozin, let's pretend I don't know anything, all right? Explain to me how that law
You don't have to pretend.
Then why is he asking me? If you're so smart, Simon, if you're so damn smart, then why is he asking me if I don't know? Then tell me.
What do you mean, why is he asking you if you don't know?
If I don't know anything, then tell me what the law is and explain how that explains the discrepancy. How does it explain the discrepancy? How does it explain the discrepancy in the distance traveled in the same amount of time? A lot more distance is being covered in the same time.
What's the law of physics? What's the law?
You don't answer a question with a question, Ozian.
He said
answer my question, and then I'll answer yours. How about that? Answer mine, and then I'll answer yours.
He said
rockets. The law of inertia is the first law. Is the first law of motion. It's law of inertia.
So something has to speed it up, right? Something has to speed it up, doesn't it?
Like the energy from a rocket? Like the energy from a rocket?
Already.
Ooh. You do realize. Hold on. I want to just make sure that
let's find out whether he knows what a rocket is.
Well, I don't give a fuck if he knows what a rocket is. But even more important and even more basic than that is that if he understands that the Earth rotating 1,000 miles an hour is different than things having to move at 11,500 miles an hour to reach escape velocity. So things at literally anything launched into space is already moving multiple times faster than the Earth is rotating.
If it was going that fast, how did they lock it in place? How did they lock it in place?
The first law.
With more rockets.
The second
How do you
law
think the
gets
ISS stabilizes itself? It uses
I want to know. Yeah, that's what's in question. How? You tell us.
Okay, so you use the second law.
Rockets. That's your answer. Rockets. No. Fairy godparents. That's what you guys sound like. Rockets.
Pull it up.
Simon, you're right. He doesn't know what a rocket is, does he?
I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what a rocket is.
How do you you can calculate the escape
it's more of a thruster
velocity.
than a rocket.
You can use the escape velocity formula to calculate how much fuel it takes to get a satellite in orbit.
And how now once they do that, how do they lock it in place and make it go that exact speed? It's a right. You're saying that satellite is over the same spot. Whatever the speed of Earth is, it has to be moving that right times whatever the distance.
They actually
don't
think they move the exact same speed.
Hold on.
It's just that the difference in speed is so small that it doesn't really affect anything. But
okay,
anyway, I have a question.
Russ.
You have adjustments, yeah.
I have a question for Ross.
I'll answer your question, but
if somebody asked me what powers a car and I said the engine, would it be appropriate to say, the engine? Well, that's not an answer.
That's
Hey,
quite a good
No,
impersonation.
no, it would not.
That's
No,
quite a good impersonation.
Exactly.
No, it
which
would
is why
not,
when you, which
because-
is why when you say, "Oh, rockets," it's because I genuinely
did you
do
guys
not think
sound
that you
like?
know what a rocket is.
no,
Calm
because an
down,
engine,
look, calm down,
engine is
Rose.
confirmed.
Calm down, Rose. Please.
Rockets
Just
My
are
name is-
chill.
types
who the
of
fuck-
engines,
Chill,
Ross.
brother,
Do you
chill.
not know
One,
that?
one at a time.
nigga, don't tell me to chill. That's gonna have the
Hey,
opposite
don't
effect.
use
all
the
right?
N-word
If
around
I,
me,
hey,
please.
I'll chill. I'll
Do
chill
not
if
use
you
the
let me
fucking
talk to
N-word
one person
around
at a
me,
time.
dude.
Because I
I'm
don't
not
know. I
impressed.
haven't
I'm not
mentioned you.
impressed.
I haven't addressed you one time, bro.
Not
So I get you're
impressed, man.
upset, but
I'm
chill. I'm
not
talking to Leo
impressed.
right now.
I am.
I'm talking to
I
Leo,
am.
all right?
Don't use
I
that
don't,
word
I don't
around
know
me,
who's
buddy.
Simo's
I'm
funk.
not impressed.
And I'm not impressed with your British accent.
Okay.
All right? I'm not impressed.
It's called
God. I'm not
logic.
impressed. Hello?
The second law gets it.
Hello, puppet?
The
All right, I'm
second law gets it into orbit.
These
The
fucking guys.
first law maintains
Think he's
its
triggered.
orbit. There.
Yep.
Yeah, calm down, bro. Calm down.
Also, I just
Well,
want
the
to make sure
law
you heard
doesn't
me.
do anything.
Ross.
I want to know how we did it as humans. The law is just
Ross.
there. How did we
Ross.
use those laws? How did we use those laws
Oh, Jesus
to
fucking Christ.
interlock a satellite? And then how
Interlock,
does
that's
it
not- that's not even the
maintain
right
and keep
language
that
to
speed? Because if
describe
it's
it.
speeding up, then it should keep
I have
speeding
a
up.
PowerPoint
Hey,
that has all
Russ.
the math to calculate it.
Russ, I have an experiment for you to run. Okay, so
Well, if
Flat
there's someone I can
earthers
look at it on the internet instead of running it.
no,
I just
you
would
can do
rather
it
see
yourself. You can do it yourself.
I'm not going to do it.
Anybody
I'm
can
telling you, I'm not going to do it. But if there's somewhere it's done on the internet, I would like to see it.
No,
Show me.
it's to prove something. Okay, so if you were to go buy a globe, okay,
But you can't show me this anywhere.
Hold on, just let me say it.
Chill
Okay,
out, bro. Come on.
go buy
Chill
a
out.
globe.
Hello, bro.
Wow. I mean,
Can
just
you chill out, puppet?
Ross,
stop overreacting.
Just
It's not,
Puppet.
listen.
not
Puppet.
impressive.
I want to
Right.
go over some super chats, and so we let's go over some super chats really quick.
No, I want to
Monkey-
hear his experiment though. I do want to
Monkey-
hear his experiment. Go ahead.
Then
bro.
we
My
go
bad.
to that Monkey Cat Pat on 666. Thank you, Monkey Cat Pat. Flirts never come to debate; they come to preach nonsense.
Oh yeah.
I'm not Pastor Tony. That's not my name. My name isn't Pastor. I
Thank
don't
you,
have pastor in front of my name.
Thank you, Pastor Ross.
Pastor was my father's name.
Thank you, Pastor Ross.
No, it's Reverend Ross.
Maximiliano.
That's better,
via-
Reverend Ross.
Visha.
Thank you, Reverend Ross. I'm gifted 5 matters now. Memberships. I'm a pastor.
Good on you.
You said you're a pastor? Is that what you said?
I'm an atheist pastor. Maximiliano.
There's no
via-
such thing as an atheist, Ozian.
I'm an atheist too.
No, you're not.
I don't
Chill,
exist,
Ross.
guys. I'm not real. I am a figment of your imagination. Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain.
I believe God doesn't exist. That makes me an atheist.
But do you know
Exactly.
for sure that God doesn't exist?
I don't need
Don't
to
have
know
to
for
know
sure.
for
I
sure. I
believe.
just have
You're
to
not
have
an atheist. You're not an
Yeah.
atheist.
No,
That's
the
not what
atheist
atheism
is-
means.
An atheist.
It's somebody who believes God doesn't exist. That's-
But you're not
Exactly.
100% sure though.
You don't
just
ha-
feel
you
like there's
don't-
more
But
evidence
atheism,
for him not
atheism
existing.
isn't defined as certitude that God exists, so
It's
it doesn't
belief.
matter.
Well, he don't really
That's-
believe it doesn't exist.
All right.
He just
Yes, I
believes
do.
that there's not enough evidence.
No,
That's
I
what he
believe
believes.
that there is
No,
no God.
I
I
believe
think
No,
there's
because if
no-
I ask you, do you know for sure?
I
You say, I don't
believe-
know.
I believe
don't
there's
need to know
enough
for sure.
evidence to justify my position that God doesn't exist.
And that's more agnostic than atheism.
No,
No,
that's not
that's not.
agnostic.
It's
Agnosticism
more
means
agnostic.
withholding judgment.
More.
Agnosticism means withholding judgment on the proposition if God
Ross.
exists or not. I don't
Ross,
withhold
I have
judgment.
a quick question for
Go
you.
ahead, Leo.
Just because I'm curious. What are the
I was
three
gonna say
classical doxastic states?
Let's pretend I don't know. Connect the dots for me.
Of
Let's
course,
Well,
you
no,
pretend.
no, we're not going to pretend if you don't know.
believe.
Do you know? what the
Yeah,
three
no, let's
classical
pretend I don't
doxastic
know.
states-
Edify the
Yeah.
audience. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is you don't know. So then
Believe.
it's funny
Hey,
that you're
sure,
making the
hey,
claims
sure,
that
hey,
you're making
hold it.
when you have
Leo,
such
sure,
a poor
edify the
understanding
audience.
of
Hold it is
epistemology.
you
So-
believe it's true, you believe it's false, or you
That's
withhold
not
judgment.
evidence for your position, though. It's
That
not
doesn't-
No,
evidence.
that's
it's
not supposed to
I
be evidence
just
for the position.
explained the three.
The
You
doxastic
accept-
states are the positions, Ross. There's
I
belief,
explained
Listen,
the
listen,
which
if
is
you
where
guys
somebody
haven't figured
takes
out,
something to be
if
true.
you haven't figured out,
There's
I've
suspension
taken-
of judgment, where
listen,
somebody takes something to be neither
Listen
true
and
nor
learn,
false.
I have
And then
taken
there's
this debate.
disbelief, where somebody takes something to be false. So
Listen
atheism
and
would fall in the disbelief category. It's a legitimate doxastic state on the proposition God exists, and one does not need certainty to hold to it. Knowledge and certainty are not the same thing, and the former does not entail the latter. And no, we pissed them off, or at any rate, very, very few would say that.
Yeah, I'm like, this is
Well,
a
you're
matter of
just
great
wrong.
debate. This is a matter of great debate. We're gonna get into a
it's
whole
not.
linguistics argument.
You
and,
don't
and, a,
need
and, a, and an
certainty.
argument about semantics. It's not
You
worth
don't-
it. There's
no,
no
it's-
value here.
You
There's
don't
no value
need
here.
certainty to accept that God exists, and you don't need certainty to accept that God does not exist.
I want to hear Jason
Exactly.
Bateman's experiment.
But anyways, Dr. Mantis Toboggan, $5 New Zealand dollars.
I know
Ross-
his name's not Jason. I'm just, but go ahead, Jason,
And
please.
this is a good
They're so
point.
rude, Jason. They're so rude. They won't even let you get your experiment out, Jason. Jesus, these guys.
I'm going to go
DJ
honor
Batman,
the
not
super chat.
Jason.
Ross claimed, and this is a good point because you straw man and you don't understand all or nothing fallacy.
By the way,
All or
Dr.
no-
Mantis, by the way, Dr. Mantis, I have invited Dr. Mantis to come because he's always in my comments, right? Every time I say, all right, you want to plead your case? I'm going live right now. He runs away from me every time, all right?
All or
So Dr.
nothing.
Mantis, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, he's a scaredy cat.
Wow, calling people out
All
in
or
the chat.
nothing
That's
fallacy
brave.
means
That's brave.
He
you
can get on right
can't-
now if he wanted, right? Bet he won't do it. I
Lord
bet he
have
won't do it.
mercy.
Ross,
Sorry,
let
sorry, go ahead.
Ozian say what he's got to say.
I'm surprised he hasn't muted you.
Because this is
All or-
entertaining. That's why it's content.
It's
you got to
not
calm down.
entertaining.
This is not
Chill
science
out, bro.
class.
Just
Stop being
chill
so
out,
serious.
bro.
Chill out, Brave.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
chill out.
Hey, Ross.
you can't deny the precepts to an argument and then call it an all or nothing fallacy. You misunderstand an all or nothing fallacy. Anyways, Ross claims Walter Lewin, which you're doing. You're denying.
Yeah,
it.
this
If you
is
deny-
what he was mad about.
if
He
you
was mad
deny-
about this, so
because you're denying the precepts to the argument that Walter Lewin is presenting about the
precepts?
fundamental fault. The precepts that allow you to understand what the fundamental forces are for nature, so that the science we do to understand the fundamental forces for particle physics about electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear force, and gravity that Lewin presents in his lecture that you cherry-picked one portion about when it came to electromagnetism.
All right, which presuppositions, though, specifically? Which ones do you think I'm ignoring? Because I'm not ignoring them. I'm just saying that his conclusion is that the force for electrostatics is 10 to the 9, I think, times.
No, 10 to the 39th power stronger.
Okay, I'm
which
pulling it off my head. I don't know.
Electrostatics is electromagnetic force.
Okay.
Electromagnetism.
I did a
not
debate with
electrostatic.
McToon on how I feel like those are interchangeable, but
and
that's another
it's-
conversation.
They're
What's-
not
what-
interchangeable.
What's
Okay.
what's his name? What's Toon's name?
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know his name. I think it's Michael. I think I saw it that time we were debating. Isn't it Michael? I don't know.
Mike. Yeah,
Mike?
Toon.
Big Mike. Shout out. Hey, I don't have no listen. Anybody who's ever debated me knows that.
You know why you call him Mike? You know why you call him Mike? You know why you call him Big Toon?
Because that's how I read it, McToon. It looks like
It's
MC
because of all
Toon
the
or
people
McToon.
you hang out with, they like to insult.
Who do I
you.
hang out with? Who do I hang out with?
Look,
I
I could give Ross the benefit of the doubt on this because there's times where in my head I end up reading it McToon as well.
I do the same thing.
Anyways, I don't hang out with. Just so you know, I don't hang out with anybody. I don't hang out with any characters, right?
Right.
Most of my channel content is comedy.
I don't
All
know
my
why I'm
content
not
on my channel is
surprised.
comedic. All right.
I don't know why I'm not
everybody
surprised by that.
Everybody pointed to the stuff at the background and think you're just a lying about being a flat earther. But I said,
Oh, because of Rick and
you
Morty?
have Rick and Morty, yeah.
See, but I say this all the time. Like my favorite movie is Interstellar. Interstellar
Ross,
is a
you're a
fantastic
Morty.
movie.
Do you know
Huh?
that, Ross? You're a Morty. You would be a
I'm
Morty.
evil
a
Morty.
Rick.
Suck on
I'm a
that.
Rick.
Hey, I'm evil Morty. Suck on
Ross
that.
has been
I'm
told
Prime
that
Rick.
he
Suck on
refuses
that,
to accept
motherfucker.
it.
What?
Okay, we're
Evil
almost.
Morty, Evil Morty is the one that caught. The one that caught evil
I got
Rick.
another
You're a
super
regular
chat.
Rick.
You-
I
So
didn't
you're
say
done.
evil Rick.
To
I didn't say evil
SGD.
Rick.
Thank you for
No,
your
Evil
disturbance.
Morty is the top dog in the whole
Pastor
show.
Ross.
Just so you know,
Pastor
Evil Morty is the top
Ross.
dog.
Chill out, Pastor Ross.
No, but he's right though. I am a Morty. I grew up a little brother. You feel me?
How can someone
But I'm
smoke?
evil Morty now. I'm the
How-
Morty that got
how
so
can-
sick of it that now I'm above Rick.
Thank you.
How can
I'm the
someone
Rickest
smoke?
Rick. I'm
How
evil
can
Morty.
someone
Bring the
smoke
five
an
kitchen
entire
matters
blunt
now
and still
membership.
not be chill? How can
We can't
someone smoke an
understand
entire
your dumb
blunt
accent,
and
stupid
not even
Englishman.
be chill? It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It
Go
is.
brush your teeth.
You
Hey, go
smoking
brush your teeth.
sativa. You
Your
must be
teeth,
smoking
your
sativa.
teeth is the color of your icon. That's what your teeth look like.
There's
That's literally the
108
color of your teeth
messages
right
I've
there.
missed. If I missed any messages, please just tag me.
Listen,
Can you put
England, you don't want to
accents
do this
up?
with me,
But-
England,
but
all
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Listen.
Yeah,
My
look,
whole
you
channel
ain't
is
shit,
comedy,
man.
all right?
You
All I
ain't
do is make fun of people.
Shit.
No, go ahead. Get your joke off. I want you to get it off. Go ahead. I don't want to step on the joke. Go ahead.
Okay. What did you want to say, Batman?
Oh, that's Batman? Oh. My apologies. I didn't hear you when you said that, but now I heard it.
My apologies.
So, the one thing I always hear from flat earthers is the 1,000-mile-an-hour spin. And, you know, of course, that does sound like a really fast speed. But a simple experiment to show them actually it's not as fast as they think it is by taking an actual globe, going to the store, buying a globe, and actually having it start in one point and make its way all the way around in 24 hours. Don't spin it fast. Spin it slowly, so it literally takes
doesn't
24
work.
hours for it to end back where it was.
But it's covering a lot more ground. The Earth is way bigger, right? So even though it might be spinning that slow, theoretically, percentage-wise, there's a lot of ground to cover. You understand?
It is
So how big is the
insane to
Earth?
me
How big is the Earth?
how much
30-some
flat
thousand
earthers
miles?
fail to
30,000
understand
miles?
the concept of
30,000
scale.
miles in 24 hours is a lot of miles. There's a lot of ground to cover, buddy. There's a lot of ground to cover.
What's
Relative
the law
to
of
what?
physics that says you can sense physically the change of velocity?
I think so. I think everybody agrees with that. That if you because
What's
your
the law of
state
physics?
even Pastor Tony, I asked him if you're moving 1,000 miles per hour, will you feel it? He said if you're not changing speeds or moving directions. That was his answer. Your guys' information says that, so I'm going based upon what you say. So that's why my next question is: well, does the Earth ever change speeds? It does.
Yeah.
Okay, well we can move on to the next thing. We
Change
can just move
speed.
on.
We change speed constantly because we're rotating.
So we should feel it. So we should definitely.
What's
feel
the
it
law
then.
of physics that says we should feel the change of
The
velocity?
law of physics that says that you sound crazy. All right, you sound.
I'm
crazy
asking. What's the law of physics?
That's a ridiculous question. That's a ridiculous question.
No,
If
how's
you're
it
moving,
ridiculous?
because
What's the law of physics that says we
if
should
I do
feel?
an experiment where
What's
I
the
get
law
in the
of
car and
physics?
I move 50 miles per hour, I'm going
You're
to
a
feel it.
ridiculous question.
I'm
Except
gonna
that you
feel
don't
50
feel it.
miles per hour, 60, 70, 100,
Except that you
200
don't
miles
feel
per
it.
hour is a ridiculous speed. Have you ever driven 200 miles per hour? You can feel it in your skin. You can
No,
feel
you
your
can't.
skin
Yeah,
pulling
if
back
you're-
at
if you're-
200 miles per hour. At
No, you
1,000
can't.
miles per
No, you
hour,
can't.
out the
but you
window.
feel nothing though. Nothing at 1,000.
Well, hey, wait, no.
I believe that. No,
How-
hey.
wait,
no, I believe
wait,
you. I believe you. I
Wait,
take your word
how
for it.
How fast are you moving at the 44th parallel?
Whatever you say, I'll go with that. All right. I don't know. Whatever
No,
number, just put
where-
the number on
where
it.
is
Give me
it
pretend I don't know. Listen,
Where-
move the
where is
conversation
it-
along.
wait,
all
have
right. Enough of all these gotchas.
I don't know
You
what
guys don't like
answering
talking about real shit, all right?
the
Pretend I
question
don't
would
know.
move the conversation
no,
along.
wait.
Ross.
No,
said
pretend I
it's
don't know
moving.
and then move it along.
You're
Tell me, what
lying
is it?
about the globe. Then you're lying. It's not moving 1,000 miles per hour. Prove your claim.
Okay. Well, all right. Tell me the number. What's the number then?
It's not-
I'll adopt
it's
your
not-
number.
It's
What
15
is it?
degrees per hour.
Pretend he
And
doesn't
15
know.
degrees per hour.
15. So, and what is that
Fucking hell.
equal to in speed?
I don't know. You tell me. Do the math.
All right, so you want me to do the math? 15 degrees per hour divided by 30,000. How much ground does it have to cover
We're-
in an
we're
hour?
30,000. Where's
Jesus.
it?
This is why I said. This is why I said you guys are trying to halt
Where's
the
it? Wait,
conversation.
wait.
So nobody
30,000,
understands.
where do you
that
get that
everything that I'm
number
saying
from?
is pretty much logical.
Where do you Where do you get the 30,000 from, dude? Where'd you measure
However,
that?
what-
at?
I said whatever. However
Logic's
big the
not
Earth is.
relative. It is
All right.
logic or it's not.
No,
It's,
all right,
there's
all
no
right, all right.
media
I-
in there.
Wait,
all
I
right.
thought you took
Pretty
logic.
much, it means
Wait.
not logical.
Then did you take political science and you don't understand logic, right? So do the logic.
I'm the only one that understands logic. And you know what,
Then
Billy?
do it.
I'll
Then
say
do it.
Billy does because he
Oh,
hasn't
oh,
said
hold
anything.
on.
I don't want to
Hold
put
on.
that on Billy. All right.
Then do
I don't
the
want to put
logic.
that on you, Ricky Bobby. I'm
Then-
not gonna put that on Billy because he hasn't said nothing. But the rest of you
All right, thanks, man.
motherfuckers, no logic in this lad. Leo
Construct
has logic
argument.
though. I'll give it to Leo, but it
Ross,
breaks down at certain
You're
points.
getting really offended right now. You're
It
acting
breaks
like a
down.
preacher.
Yeah, chill
Stop
out,
preaching.
bro. Chill out, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Well,
constructive.
I- Listen,
No,
this
I
is
want
not
the
me
logic.
not
Bring
chill.
the logic. Bring the logic. Bring the logic.
I'm trying to.
Tell me how many
I like
miles
seeing
per
you like
hour.
this, Ozian.
Tell me how many miles per hour the Earth is moving at the 44th.
I
Use
don't know.
logic.
I don't know.
Dude, you said
don't
it's
know.
logic. It's logic. It's pure logic. This is actually
Is what you're saying right now logical? Are you having a
Yes.
logical? You asked me a
Absolutely.
question. You asked me a question. I said I don't know, and
I'm
you
asking
screamed.
you a
You said it's
logical
logic.
question.
You said it's logic.
Yeah, bring the
Yeah,
logic.
That's what are you talking
wait.
about? This is word salad now, Ozian.
No,
Ozian, this
it's
is word
not.
salad.
No, these
word salad.
words are
This is literally
logically.
This is the
These
only thing I've
words
ever
are
heard that's word
logically
salad.
constructed. A sphere has 360 degrees.
Ozian, you sound like Joe Biden.
The sphere has 360 degrees.
You sound like Joe Biden, Ozian.
The
That was a pretty
Earth
good one.
Oh, no, that's below
rotates
the belt. Huh? That's below the belt.
360
That was too
degrees
far,
in
man.
24 hours.
That's too far. My bad. My bad. Ozian.
Wait,
Too far.
so let me build it out because you may have not have learned this. So let me build it out for you. The Earth rotates 360 degrees in 24 hours. That's 15 degrees per hour. The Earth is basically a sphere. Okay, it is 40,076 kilometers around
40,000. All right,
equator.
thank you. Thank you. So 40,000 divided by
40,000
24. Easy math. We could have did this a whole hour ago. But you are like Jesus Christ.
I asked how
30,000
fat.
divided by 24.
Stop. I asked
1,000.
No,
You have a mute
666
No.
miles an hour.
Wait, I asked how fast is it moving at the 44th? 44 degrees from the North Pole, south and 45 degrees. How fast is it? How fast? How many kilometers per hour is it moving at the middle point between the North Pole and the equator? How fast?
Listen,
How many
based upon what you just
how many
said,
kilometers per hour?
You said 40,000. Divide that by 24.
We'll say 40,000.
It's about 1,666 miles
Where do you get
per
that
hour. Per hour, just so you know. That's a lot of ground to cover in an hour, buddy.
That's at the
1,000
equator.
miles in an
I
hour.
asked at the 40.
1,066.
I asked at the halfway
Your
point.
face is gonna fly off. Ozian.
Wait.
Go do an experiment. Go do an
think
experiment
the
and
Earth
try to
is
move
a
that fast.
cylinder?
Your skin is gonna peel off, Ozian.
Your
skin is gonna peel off.
You think the Earth is a cylinder? You
I never
think
said
the
that.
Earth is a cylinder? You're
Word salad, Ozian.
You
Ozian is
think
Joe
the-
Biden.
you
Ozian is Joe
think the
Biden right now.
Earth is
Josian.
40. You
dude.
think
Hey,
the Earth is
Josian.
40,000
Look at Leo. Look at-
kilometers at the
Josian.
45th and at the equator? He thinks the Earth is 40,000 kilometers at the 45th parallel and at the equator.
It sounds like it.
It
Ozian,
sounds
I'm just
like
saying,
it, doesn't he?
1,000 miles per hour. You can't reconcile that. It's 1,066 now.
I
What?
asked
you
you.
So
did not
big
feel it.
numbers
Skin.
scary, therefore no.
So
No,
you
no,
have to get me
in
the
the known
circumference.
universe that we live in, the laws of physics dictate that if we send something
sorry.
1,000, if I shoot
I'm
a
sorry,
bullet,
Daryl.
how fast is a bullet? How fast is a
I'll
bullet?
try
Come
to be
on now, we
quiet.
kill people with speeds
depends
that
on
quick.
the bullet.
Come on.
It depends
We
on the
kill
grain
people
of
with
the
speeds that quick.
shot.
You understand math is logic, right? So I'm asking you, do the
It is.
logic.
It's supposed to be.
Well, then
Math-
you should be able to solve
Math,
it.
I wouldn't say math.
Okay,
is logic,
but it's
that's
not
probably
reality
It's
until
logic.
we can do an experiment on it. It's not science
That's
until we can do an
It's helping
experiment
you.
on it.
that's actually not
There's
true.
people in the
That's
audience.
If that were
100% true, Leo. Leo, you know that's not- Leo.
Nope.
I read that quote just for you today, Leo. That quote from Nikola Tesla, who substituted math for science. All right, go ahead. Math worshippers.
So, if what you said were true, theoretical science wouldn't be a thing.
I resent the fact that theoretical science calls itself a valid science. Leo, we did the whole debate on this.
Theoretical physics is physics, my dude.
If it's not backed up by experiment, it is not a scientific theory. I have McToon on record saying
but
this.
That's not what you said initially. So now
I'm
you're
saying, okay, let me correct myself then. All right, let me make my position clear. Let me make my position clear. Let me make my position so you don't straw man me.
Row your boat back.
So you don't straw man
Come
me.
on, row your boat back. Come on.
I don't have any problems. Listen, I'm not like you guys, all right? My ego is not that big.
No,
if I'm
you're
wrong,
not,
I'll
my
gladly
friend.
say it. If I'm wrong, I'll gladly say it, all right?
Yeah,
Listen.
you were wrong.
Listen.
You were
Listen,
wrong.
Well, I
listen.
mean, you're kind of like me because we both,
Let me-
you know, we both have brown skin, beautiful brown
All
skin.
right,
But
listen,
otherwise,
that's why Leo doesn't get offended by what I say. He gets me, all right? Listen. This is what I'm saying, all right? My
I think
position
that's
is
a bit racist. You saying that?
he's the one that brought up the
Me?
brown skin.
No, him.
Simon
Then I
said
said he
he
gets-
gets pasty.
He's just this nigga just see? You see what happens when you upset English people? Just like, look, if you don't have a good joke, like let it go, all right? Let it go.
Yeah, calm
I
down.
should
I forgot we was even
Issa in
talking
that.
about.
Issa's got beautiful brown skin too.
The
rest
listen,
of you.
this is my position.
pasty ass
This is my, and you kind of pasty too, Leo. So yeah,
Oh,
all right.
yeah, right.
This is my
Right,
position. All right,
right.
right. I'm like, this nigga, Issa's darker than you for sure. Issa, yeah,
well,
Issa
I
got
say we're
more.
about
Yeah,
the
come
same.
on.
I say we're about the same.
He got you by just a little bit. All right, look.
I don't know about
This
that.
is my position. All right, it cannot be a scientific theory unless it's backed up by experiment. So when people
That
say
is
theoretical,
true. I will agree with that.
all right, so that's my
Row back
no,
again, buddy. Keep rowing back.
So I don't like people just throwing the term science on everything. It's like fairy godparents. You're just saying it. Fairy godparents. Like,
I don't like that
calm
either.
down. Calm down.
Like
Ross,
when people
I
say
got a
that what the
question for you.
Bible, what's in the Bible is science, and
Wait,
it's not.
I got a question for you, Ross. So
Yes.
I am buying a 5-pound round lead weight, some swivel hooks, and I'm going to mount it to my ceiling. I got some lubricant for the swivel hooks, and it's going to be 7 foot long. So I'm going to do the best I can to make sure it's a linear swing. And I expect to see a 9.8 degree change in deflection per hour.
Let me ask you this.
What parallel am I at if it's 9.8 degrees?
I don't
per
know.
hour
I don't
for
know.
the
I
audience?
don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. But let me ask you this. If you put that string there,
I think
and
you lost
never
the lubricant, Ozzy.
if you put that string there and you never touch it, will it start the pendulum swing by itself?
No, I have to drop it.
Oh, so if the Earth is moving and that's what's causing the pendulum to swing, why doesn't it do it by itself?
No,
He just doesn't
cause
understand
the pendulum
conservation
to
of momentum.
swing.
That's all.
It causes the pendulum to precess as it swings.
Recess.
So how,
It's going
how
to
come it's
cause
not
the pendulum to rotate.
Okay,
It
but
makes sort of a
the-
figure 8, but a really, really
listen.
small
The,
one.
the right answer would be that the Earth is not changing speeds, but again, you guys already know it's changing speeds. So if the Earth is
Well,
changing
I
speeds,
mean-
we should notice in the pendulum.
Technically, it is, but like
If you
so
don't
fucking
move it, we will
slowly
not
that
see any of that.
It's like you realize that there's very, very, very little friction on the Earth. Like the thing that's breaking the Earth the most, I'm pretty sure, is the moon. And
I think
that's
there's no
moving
friction
away
because
from
it's
us.
not moving,
And
Leo.
that's
but my answer to that is that it's just not moving.
That's
my bad.
And that's going to change because the moon is moving away from us at 4 centimeters, or about 2-ish inches every year.
Here's another proof of the globe. We have 15 amphidromic points on Earth.
How does that prove the globe?
Because we have 15 amphidromic points on Earth.
Okay, right. So you don't. Okay, you said we have 15 anthrodromic points. How does that prove it? Because we have 15.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're affected
I know.
by.
I heard you. Now you need to elaborate further. Explain from point A
I'm
to point
sorry.
B.
I see.
How
He
does
didn't
that prove the
understand
globe?
Well, he doesn't know what that is.
You
Go on,
need to
explain
know.
it.
You know.
Obviously, you dumb idiot. That's why I asked
You
the
dumb
question. People don't know. They ask questions. Yeah,
Because,
I'm not. I want to know. Explain
So I'm
to
going
me.
to start there. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Amphidromic.
Oh my
points.
God, he doesn't know. He asked a question, idiot.
Chill out, bro.
Yeah,
Are
Chill
these
out.
good
He's
jokes in
gonna
your?
explain
Are
it.
these
Chill
good
out,
jokes in
bro.
your bum part of England?
Amphidromic points.
They need to send you to Australia with Pastor Tony.
I'm
Chill
going
out,
to.
bro.
I'm
That
going
might
to
be
do
too far. My
better
bad. That might be
than
too far.
Neil deGrasse
Oh, you can go as far as you like. That's fine.
Start
Simon, just start calling him bruv.
Just
start calling him bruv. It'll piss him off.
Go eat some Lucky
Right, bro?
Charms, nigga.
Amphidromic
Lucky Charms. What does that have to do with the
tidal
English?
ranges.
That nigga's. I'm sorry.
Amphidromic points have tidal ranges matching the path and the lunar day of the moon, which is
That's
24 and a half hours.
There's only a slight correlation, right? It drags behind, and with tidal nodes and the position of
30
tidal
degrees.
nodes, this completely debunks the idea. Number one, that the Earth
They're
is
called
spinning.
amphidromic points.
I know. All right. Okay. So the tidal
Yeah,
nodes,
you did
right?
know.
This completely debunks the idea that the moon is causing it, right?
Boom.
And
Nope.
that it's being pulled. Excuse me. And that the
not being
spin, quote unquote,
pulled.
of the Earth has anything to do with it.
It's
The
not being
moon and
pulled.
the moon and the spin of the Earth have nothing to do with the
The
tides.
moon doesn't pull the water, the oceans. That's wrong.
I'm glad you know, most people don't know that, Ozian. Most people still think that the moon causes the tides.
The moon
Idiots.
squeezes the ocean. It causes tides.
No, it does not.
Yes, it
All right,
does.
my bad.
You
I threw you too much. I threw you bailed too quick.
The sun.
You just don't understand it.
Hold on, I
It's
have a
the
question.
sun. Who said it was the sun?
It's not the
Who
sun
said it was
either.
the sun?
I am.
It's
Well,
Somebody say
also
it was the sun?
It's also the sun.
Ah, because that's the right answer. That's what I'm saying. You don't. That's not even the answer from your paradigm. Their answer is
hold
the
on.
sun. You know why? Because the tides will also appear on the opposite side of the moon, so they can't say it's the moon anymore.
know what that
You guys
It's
gotta read
always
up on this stuff,
no.
man.
Let
Read
me.
up on this stuff.
I will explain. You're both wrong.
I'm not wrong.
It
I'm not
is
wrong.
the sun and the moon. The reason why you get tidal nodes on both sides of the moon is because you got a different. You need to understand integral calculus that
I
Newton
know. Get it together.
that Newton did not have access to when and didn't understand what's called tidal forces. Tidal forces have nothing to do with tides. Tidal forces have to do with how gravity. interacts between planetary bodies.
Gravity's been debunked already.
No, it hasn't.
No, and let's finish the
It has
topic.
to do. So why does it perfectly match the magnetic field of the Earth then?
You need it
Why
doesn't.
do the tidal nodes appear exactly where the magnetic field in the Earth says that there would be gaps?
They don't.
What?
So they
Are
don't,
you-
obviously.
Are you
So
sure?
you need
Are you
to.
positive? Are you
Yes.
positive about that?
You're absolutely positive. What they do.
You're
what
not.
they-
You're wrong.
No,
Just so
I'm
the chat
not.
knows,
Sure.
completely
Sure.
wrong. Go look it up.
Sure.
Point for Ross.
They,
Sure.
they,
Yeah,
they-
have you got a
they-
link for that?
They are predicted based upon.
You got a link for that, laddie.
I
Laddie,
didn't
you
think
got a
you
link
did.
for it.
That's
I
that's
can-
Scottish, my friend.
I
not
can
Go do
English.
your own
explain
homework.
to you.
I'm
how-
either Irish or
Go
Scottish.
do your own
so
homework.
You,
I
you,
can-
you get that.
I'm not Pastor Tony.
So you
I
don't
can
have
do
a
your own
link.
research.
No,
You don't
you're
have a link.
Reverend Ross.
Okay.
I can explain
that.
how
I'll take that.
apodromic points are predicted. If
Sister
you
Rose, more like.
shut up, apodromic points are predicted based upon ocean depth. And
Yeah,
ocean
Samosa, shut up.
sizes. Apodromic points are based upon ocean depth and ocean diet sizes. Apodromic points are broken up because oceans are fluidic. If oceans like the crust isn't fluidic, so we get tidal nodes of the Earth's crust that follow the moon, also actually lead the moon by about 30 degrees because gravity extends across the object. The idea that f of g equals g times m1 times m2 divided by r squared is a simplified model to explain center of mass to center of mass. Gravity actually doesn't work that way. Gravity actually works by all finite masses extend to all other finite masses in all of existence. My finger,
You're talking about the bending and warping of
my
space time, right?
finger,
The
my
bending and warping
fin-
of space time,
my
or mass
finger,
attracting mass.
my finger is attracting my nose right now due to the bending
This
and
is
warping
ridiculous.
of space
This is
time.
ridiculous. Your own
My-
paradigm doesn't even
my
use that
finger-
anymore. Why do you guys cling
My
to that?
finger, my
Why do you guys
finger,
cling to that? You're a
my
science denier
finger-
now.
my finger is bending.
You know, I
and
learned this in
warping.
2010. In 2010,
My
I learned that
finger-
gravity was
my
a bending and
finger-
warping. Listen, no,
My
Ocean,
finger,
I went to college in
My
2010.
finger,
They taught us
my
the bending and
finger-
warping of space time.
my finger,
They did not teach
my
us mass
finger-
attracting
All
mass
right, all right,
in
all right,
2010.
all right.
my
All right.
finger
They
and
did not teach us
nose.
that in school.
My finger and nose are bending and warping space time, which is causing them to.
I'm just
fall
saying you're
into each
outdated.
other. My finger and nose are bending and warping space time. They're
Yeah,
causing them
okay.
to follow into each other.
I'll accept that before I accept mass attracting mass. At
That's
least
what
give me the
mass
bending and
attract-
warping. Can I at least get
No,
the proper one so I can
Andy,
debate against that? I
Mass,
want to debate against the real thing, not the fake. Like,
Mass-
come on.
What are you
mass-
doing?
Come on.
bending and
Somebody-
warping a space time.
Somebody help
That
him, please.
concept is what's explaining mass attracting mass. It's just a further down
It's
concept
not
to explain
mass attracting
attracting
mass.
mass.
Okay.
Just
no, it's
because
not.
you don't understand.
All right, how about
philosophy
this?
is not
Explain
my
the three-body
problem.
problem then. Ozian, how come a supercomputer can't take
I don't
mass
care
attracting
about-
mass and get
I don't-
three bodies?
I don't care about your gish galloping. We're talking about tidal
you don't care
forces.
now.
And we're
No, it's
talking
about gravity.
how
With the known gravity,
we're talking about
it cannot
how
solve the three-body
15
problem. That does
We're
not
talking
exist.
about how the 15 apodromic points on Earth prove that the Earth is a globe.
Shit,
Listen.
that's not what I wanted.
Listen, I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
know
Now,
why the biggest supercomputers
ocean
cannot solve
depths-
the 3-body problem.
The ocean depths of the Earth and the fluidic nature of the water. So what happens is some portions of the Earth, due to the path of the moon around the Earth, you know,
Okay.
because the moon doesn't always follow the same path around the Earth, right? We understand that. We can see it. So we get what's called diurnal tides, where we get two high tides based upon the path of the moon, or we get semi-diurnal tides.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, it's unchanging over
But
the
we
years,
get
though, right?
Semi-diurnal tides.
It might have different spots throughout the year, but
get
throughout the years, there's no effect of gravity that would be there based upon the best
we can measure it because we
supercomputers.
get lighter because of the moon. So we get
I'm not denying
we have a lunar weight. We have a lunar weight and we have a Jupiter weight. So we get two semi-diurnal tides.
I'll say that again. You said a lunar wave?
We have a lunar
weight.
Okay, my bad.
Like what
I
a
thought you said
scale
lunar
measures
wave.
weight.
So
okay. But we don't know what the lunar weight is, though.
Yeah, we do. We can measure.
No,
it.
we don't. No, we do not.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
because we know
I've
what the
actually.
How did we figure it out?
calculated
How did we figure it out?
Based on the mass of the moon. So we have.
We don't know the mass of the moon.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
So we have.
Real quick, for the audience. If a barrel, I want to make this simple. If a barrel is 100 yards away from me, how do I know the mass of the barrel without going to the barrel?
By measuring its gravitational field. So yeah, that
and we
can tell
can
us how massive something is.
We can predict.
Gravity is what is in question. There is no gravitational field on the moon.
You're questioning.
Gravity's not in question because.
Oh yes, that's what we're talking about right now. Yes, it is.
No, when I get the Cavendish experiment, you're going to participate in that experiment with me, right? And when I do when I do Foucault's pendulum experiment to measure Earth's rotation, you're going to participate with that with me, right?
Does the pendulum match Earth? Does the pendulum
Are you going
match?
to participate?
Let me ask you a question.
Wait, no, I asked you a question. You're going to participate with me?
Sure. Okay, sure. But does the pendulum?
Does
the pendulum match? Does the pendulum match? Shut up, Samosa. Does the pendulum match?
No.
Does it match the rotation of the Earth, or does it match the rotation of the stars?
Yeah. This is something new.
Hello, puppet.
This is something new here.
Hello.
You actually
this is why they send some of you guys to Australia, right? They're gonna send you to Australia if you keep acting like this.
What's the force of this? What's the force of the stars that you measured? Are you saying there's force of the stars?
Ozian, let me ask you a question. Does the pendulum match the rotation? Rose. They're gonna send you to Australia. Kangaroos and giant spiders is in your future. Cut it out.
I thought you didn't believe in Australia.
So can we finish?
Does it match? Does it match the rotation of the stars, or does it match the quote unquote rotation of the sun, which would be the rotation of the Earth?
You're a Capricorn, aren't you? I know you are.
Are you trying to read my sign? Listen, I don't get down like that, all right? Stop guessing my sign, all right? I don't get down like that over here. If I did, I would make it clear, all right?
I knew you.
Shout out all my guys who do, all right? I see why you're so talkative toward me.
I knew you.
I'm not talking to you for a reason, all right? Go ahead.
Based on Coriolis.
Does it match the rotation of the stars or the quote unquote sun or the Earth, really? The Earth or the sun was the same thing, or does it match the rotation of the stars?
Matches Coriolis.
So you don't know then. You refuse to answer.
9 of the above, it matches Coriolis.
So it don't even match the rotation of the Earth then. So this experiment is still in question. Listen, this is my point. This experiment is still in question. We don't know what's causing it. That's my whole point.
It's Earth's rotation, Coriolis.
50 to 0. Or maybe 1 for Leo. Maybe 1 for
Leo. I haven't even finished my argument for tidal forces because you keep interrupting.
Look, I'm sure you guys know by now that I'm having fun. All right, we're having fun. All right,
you keep changing the topic because you know I'm going to destroy your own world.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There's still a topic he brought up 5 minutes ago. I want to address.
Hey, address it all. I'm listening.
Okay, so tidal forces, gravity. You understand? So the far side of the moon attracts the far side of the Earth differently than the close side of the moon.
You would think so.
The far side of the Earth. I know so.
You would, yeah. It would make logical sense. It would have to, yeah.
Yeah, because all parts of the finite masses attract all other parts of finite masses, right? Due to the inverse square law.
Based upon what you're saying, yes. I'm giving you. I don't agree with it, but I'm saying if what you're saying is correct, then yes.
You deny the inverse square law of forces.
Well, we're talking about masses
forces.
attracting each other still, right?
Are you denying inverse square law of forces?
I'm not denying anything. No, I'm saying that I'm giving you that, but I also don't agree with your presuppositions of gravity and stuff.
It's not a presupposition.
Bending and warping in space time, or definitely not mass attracting mass. Like only like the
mass
only
attracting
science
mass.
deniers still say that.
We're going to test over there. You can deny science if you want to, but anyways,
well, that's
how
you guys. All right? I'm on the
it,
side of science. Albert Einstein, Neil.
You're confusing
Lawrence Krauss.
No, wait, you're conflating language scientists use with scientific papers. There's no papers that deny gravity.
I have to say this. There's a super
I've heard it. I've said it. I've heard enough. I've been polite. I have to cut in. I must cut in now. Please, Ocean, if you would be so delicate, if you would be so kind, then please let me.
Chill out, bro. Chill out.
I'm making fun of you for my audience. All right, they like this. They don't like this serious shit. They like it when I make fun of you.
They're probably too simple-minded.
I'm so glad.
You couldn't win a debate with none of them, Leo.
No,
you couldn't win a debate with none of them.
In the northern hemisphere,
I whooped your ass in one, so I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm okay.
Leo, that was my first flat Earth debate ever. And literally after that, everybody and their mama wanted to debate me. Why? Because I did such a good job in it, Leo. Right. McToon wanted to debate me, but literally the day after. Really you know why? He was like, this Ross guy. Huh?
Remember, you came to me wanting to debate. I didn't come to you.
Not necessarily. I said I would debate a list of people, and you were on that list. Yes. Yeah.
I debated Watchdog Agent, and I said,
well, when I was told about the debate,
one of my best
performances.
You know what I mean?
You singled me out specifically.
Ross, can I just explain to you why they wanted to debate you?
Because they thought it would be easy to make fun of me and get content on me, and they were wrong. Well, where's the content? Where is it? Where's the content?
On my
Where
channel.
is it? It's not there. It's not there. You know why? Because they got embarrassed. I debated McToon about gravity by myself. Then I had to do a 2-on-1 with him and Globy McGlobeface after he got upset at Matt. You remember that? I debated the 2-on-1 right before the both of them. The only clips. Hold on. The only clips. Listen. Shut up, Brendan. Shut up, Brendan. We can't understand you. You got food in your mouth. You need to brush your teeth.
Ross, read my super chat. Ross, read the super chat for me.
All right, 1 second. Let me finish though. But just so you know, just so you know, I had to debate Globy McGlobeface and McToon 2-on-1. Right. Oh, I'm so hurt. I got to interrupt him because he's killing. I had to debate them 2-on-1. Hey, interrupt me because I'm doing so good. Listen, I know why you're interrupting me. We all know. Listen, if I sound dumb, let me say it. Let me say it if I sound dumb. Then let me say it. Let me say it. When I'm ready. Maybe in Britain, you guys get told what to do. We don't get told what to do out here in America. This is America. I'll read what I want to read when I want to read it, homie. Yeah,
exactly. It's America.
It's America. I don't have to read it, honestly. Like, I really don't care. So, like I said, like I was saying, right? Yeah. Hey, you see that? You see this?
Read the super chat.
Hey, you see that? Hey. That's where I'm at. Hey, that's where I'm at. All right. I'm not in bumfuck London. I'm not eating crumpets, not brushing my damn teeth. All right.
Super chat.
So, anyways, like I was saying,
you done? Medical bills here in America.
It's America. Read the super chat.
It is America. I read what I want to read when I want to read it, nigga.
Yeah, read the super chat. Do
you read? That must be nothing ever.
No, actually, I read more than you guys apparently because when I say something, you have no rebuttal for it. No rebuttal. But anyways, like I was saying, the reason why they came over, like you said, Ozian, was to get clips on me. But you don't see any clips from those debates. The only clips that made it out of those debates is the clips of me making McToon look stupid. Yes, not from me too. Other people took clips from that debate of me making McToon look stupid. Yes. So that's what happened, period.
All right, can you read the super chat
8-0. And we count all my debates, I'm like 10-0. Because that moon landing debate, you guys got lost in that debate. You guys got lost in that moon landing debate, Ozian. Come on.
I didn't lose. The only clip I made from
and we won. Listen, and we won the poll. We never win the poll.
Okay.
They'll for the first time ever, the moon landing won the poll.
That means we're right. Oh.
Listen. Hey.
No, I looked at the poll. That's Dustin
Yes,
Nemo's
right.
comparison.
Hey,
You can't even read
get
the
it.
super
we
chat.
won the debate about the poll and in real time.
Hey,
No, not the
jeez,
poll.
can't even read
The
the
poll
super
says
chat.
we won.
Thanos.
But anyways,
Saitama. I'm Saitama.
the polls
in
don't matter
America.
anyways. But
Hey,
the
I'm
polls show we
Saitama.
won.
That's right, for my nerds out there.
But the polls show.
So
we
read the
won.
super chat.
Light work. I was about to read it until you started
But
talking.
I
Now we
did
gotta
make
wait. Shit.
And we're still
I
waiting.
did make
and
a
we're still
short on
waiting.
that one to make fun of Dustin Nemos. So
Still waiting.
You said what?
I did make a short about that one to make fun of Dustin Nemos calling me a Nephilim and whatever. And you were in there. The face on your face was funny.
Well, and hopefully I can reclaim the title. I'm gonna still I'm gonna read this in what's his name's accent. As perfectly put by Mark Twain and there. Keep your mouth That's what you sound like, idiot.
That's not.
Sounds like a southerner.
Is it really? Is it really?
No,
Because
I swear
I think it would
the
be
Southerner.
because
Who
I
said the
thought
Southerner comment?
because
Who
I
said the
thought
Southerner
I
comment?
spoke English. So
Who said the
I'll
Southerner
read it
comment?
out. It's perfectly put.
Who
by
said the
Mark
Southerner
Twain.
comment?
It's
I gotta
better
give you
to keep
props for
your
that.
mouth shut
That was a
than to
good
appear
catch.
stupid and remove all doubt.
All right, well, whoever said the Southerner comment, that's a good catch because I always make this joke. To me, when I hear English people talk, it sounds like the same slang I hear in the South. I say their accents aren't that far off. I say this all the time, so that's a good catch.
Very different.
You guys all sound the same.
way more
It sounds like dumb slang.
Yep.
Learn
But
how
then
to
you have
talk right, idiot.
Wait,
but then you
is that
have
what you think
confused me
David
with the
Attenborough
Scottish.
from?
You have
Blah,
confused me.
blah, blah, a what? A blah, 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 blah.
Oh yes,
I can't understand you, sir.
Yeah, but I know that's because you confused me with someone from Scotland and someone
Look
from
at you,
Ireland.
confused man, nigga.
But then we
I'm
all
making
sound
fun
the
of
same,
you. It doesn't
right?
matter where you're
So-
really from. Do you understand that? It doesn't matter about the joke is lands. It's if it's funny or not. So I'm making fun of you. Who gives a fuck where you're from?
Funny.
I don't care.
None of it's been funny.
You sound dumb. That's the point. You sound like an idiot. And your
Okay.
accent is not doing anything for you. All right,
doesn't-
your accent is not helping.
You know,
Well,
you
he's-
want to know what's funny is that the English accent has often been considered a high class
Thank you,
accent
Monkey
for a
Cap,
very
Pat.
long time.
And that's why I said his
Oh.
accent's not doing anything for him because all he does is make me
Yeah,
think
but
like,
it's-
damn.
it's a
So I guess
high-class
all English
accent.
people ain't smart.
It's
I guess all
generally
English people ain't
attributed.
smart.
It's
Exhibit
generally
A.
attributed
I'm like,
to
Exhibit A.
intellect.
All English people
Ross,
for sure aren't
Ross,
smart. Look,
Ross. See,
See,
this is
let's-
how I know you don't actually know anything about linguistics. Because if you did, you would know that the proper English accent has been one of high class or been considered one of high class
who gives a
for
fuck
literal
what they
centuries.
feel like
This was
culturally?
part.
That's
This
not
was
linguistics.
part. This was part of how
That's
you could tell the
sociology.
difference.
That's
This was
sociology,
part.
not linguistics.
This was part of how
Yeah,
you could tell the difference. This was part of how you could tell the difference between somebody who was educated in England and somebody who wasn't. What's the difference
They
between their
consider it high
accents?
class.
Simon,
because
what's the
there's
name of
incest.
the movie?
No,
I can't think of the name
there's
of the movie
incest
where the one
in the royal
dude tries
family,
to teach
so that's
the
why they
one
talk
chick
like that.
how to
The
speak
royal
properly.
family
What's
talks like that
movie
because they have
called?
Oh,
incest
yeah.
in their family, and that's
What's
why
that
you guys
movie
talk
called?
like that.
My
You're gonna try to
favorite-
pretend like you're the
Ross,
royal
have
family,
you ever
but
seen
you forgot
Ross?
that they're
Ross,
borderline not even there.
Ross,
Educating
Ross,
Rita.
Long live the queen, though.
All
Long
right,
live the
we're
queen.
way
Or
off
king,
topic
or whatever the fuck you
now.
have now.
Educating Rita
The nature of the show, it's supposed to be a
I think I was
discussion
thinking
about
of
with
the
Michael
debate.
Caine. Yeah.
Sorry,
And
guys. Sorry.
we need to cool it with the N word. YouTube doesn't.
Oh, you know what? Hey, let me know when I say it because I don't even think about it. It comes out like water.
I understand.
So let me
It's-
know,
it's
like,
been
yeah,
like
I
2
didn't
or
even hear
3
myself say it. My
times.
bad.
Yeah. YouTube
Yeah, chill out,
frowns
bro,
on
for
that
fuck's
shit.
Chill out, Greg. Chill out. It's because
I
I can't
don't
understand you. If you could talk right, then it would be a calm conversation, bro.
Yeah.
What's
But
wrong?
You're
with
just
speaking?
too easy to make fun of. You're too
And it's
easy.
the hard end too. So
Yeah, no, your accent. It's hard to That's what Ozzy is. It's hard to understand your accent. Yeah. Thank you, Ozzy, and I agree.
No,
So I
you're
did
talking
want to
about something
respond
else.
to
There was another joke,
Ross's
by the way.
mention
Laugh
of
when you like.
the
I will
three-body
laugh when I
problem.
like. Thank you.
Because if I remember correctly, Ross, you said that they can't solve the three-body
Yeah.
problem. That's not
Yeah.
actually true. There are numerical solutions to it. You cannot get a closed form solution, which I'm sure you know all about those. Yeah, but
Listen,
you
so-
can't get
so
a closed.
demonstrate it for me
I
then.
haven't finished.
Demonstrate
I
it for
haven't
me.
Finished. I haven't finished.
Okay.
You
Leo,
cannot
Okay.
get
I haven't
a
finished. I
closed
haven't
form.
finished.
You cannot get a closed form solution to the 3-body problem because of how it's determined from its initial conditions. There are going to be things that you simply are never going to be able to actually provide a closed form solution for. You're just going to get a chaotic dynamical system. However,
So
we can
now
get
add 4
numerical.
and 5
However,
and 6
however,
and 7
however,
and 8 and 9.
However, you can get numerical solutions to the 3-body problem. See, you don't understand any fucking thing. You don't understand
Leo, I agree with you on
any
that.
fucking thing. You don't understand
Leo, that's
any
why
fucking
I
thing.
said the quote.
You don't understand any fucking thing about the advanced mathematics requisite for understanding physics. And this is why everybody in here just fucking laughs at you.
Well, you guys can laugh all you want, but I beat 2 out of the 3 of you in debates already. So
No, you
of course you
haven't.
guys are gonna laugh. Now, just to be clear, right? I agree that, they have mathematical solutions. Hold on, Ozzy, hold on.
I didn't say mathematical solutions.
Wait, I reject that. That debate with me, every time you interrupted me every time I tried to talk, and I would try to talk, and Ryan would mute me. Out of that 4-hour debate, I probably talked 30 minutes because Ryan kept muting me.
Ozzy, and I'll agree, but it wasn't my fault. And if you think
Every
I'm
time
lying,
he does that, he's muting
I will
you, by
pull
the
up.
way.
I will pull up the game footage because I reviewed this on my channel. I'm getting interrupted right now. I'm getting interrupted right now, and I never complain. I never complain about getting interrupted. Right? It's fine.
You've already
I just do it
complained
back.
twice.
I never complain. I just do it back.
You've already complained twice in this very hangout.
Listen.
Let him finish.
Listen. I
No,
agree.
that
Ozian.
wasn't a fair
Ozian.
debate.
I'm talking to Ozian. All right. Ozian,
Okay, who you
I
talking
agree.
to? You're lying.
Ozian, I agree. Now you have a French accent.
Yeah, no,
All right?
well done.
Hey, Ozian, I
Very
agree
mature
that when
of
I
you.
watched it back, you got unfair talking time and you were
Very
unfairly
mature.
muted. However, Ozian, it was not because I kept interrupting you. I promise if we watch it back
Yeah,
right
it
now,
was.
in the beginning, if we watch it back, you'll see who the first person to be interrupted was me clearly.
Oh, too quirky.
I was the first person to be interrupted, period. Period.
It's like, man, you
And I'll bet
interrupted
money
me
on
so
that.
many times.
I'll bet money on that.
You interrupted me first.
It's not. Listen,
Like
it's not
that
about first.
makes
It's
a difference?
listen, Leo.
If it's not
I'm
about
having a
first,
debate with
why are
somebody,
you fucking bringing it
Leo,
up?
I'll explain it.
Exactly
I'll
what we
explain
used
it.
to say in the
I'll explain
playground.
it.
It's because of
Okay.
how Ryan was framing the debate. It was like, dude, Ryan, you're not.
I'm not gonna put it on Ryan. I won't put it on Ryan
Anyway.
because listen, when I started talking and giving my rebuttal, I instantly Craig interrupted me. Both of you guys started interrupting me, and I said, "Listen, we can go to 1 minute because I knew it was going to be like that because Craig is unbearable. If anybody watches any of my debates with Craig, right? I had to force Craig to get a moderator for one of our debates. I brought in my frat brother so he could debate because Craig likes dumpster fire shit. Craig wants to do that. That's why that was like that, Ozian.
Any chance you could smoke another blunt there, Rose?
Anyways,
What'd you say?
It wasn't a blunt earlier. I don't know if it was cannabis, but if it was, it was a
let's
joint.
chill out. I think we're gonna close the
I think it was.
stream.
It was.
Stop whining already, Pastor Ross. Chill. We're all getting offended here, Simos too. I think you're like going after Ross. But to be fair, like you opened up that debate.
I'm only being entertaining. Ozian, I'm being entertaining. I'm entertaining everybody.
It's
I
Samosa,
know,
not
I
Simos.
get you're parroting Ross's
Rev Ross.
vibe. Yeah, I get it. And he is just parroting your vibe.
Who are you talking about?
Talking about you, Rev Ross.
Who's parodying me?
The
You
good
think somebody's
Rev.
parodying me?
Samosa.
He's he's
parodying, not parroting.
He's making okay. Sorry, I was halfway paying attention. But
I can't pronounce words for shit.
Listen, like I said, Ozian, I agree with you that you didn't get a lot of talking time in that debate. Nonetheless, though, you guys did not have any rebuttals to any of the stuff that I was saying. All right, and again, in the presentation that I did today, is undefeated against everybody. The number one person on that list was Leo. Leo was the first person that had to feel that laugh. That's right. I had to chop Leo down to size. You know what I mean? And he fought hard, but in the end,
you chopped like a million slices out and still didn't even reach half of me.
I messaged Ryan, said I would accept your challenge as long as we do 2-minute mutes.
Oh, and I would like that. Yeah, honestly, I told Craig that I'm not debating. Like, if we want to debate, we have to go and do it on their platform so that way somebody can moderate. So, and Ozian, I think me and you we'll have a good debate. But we gotta pick something specific, because if we pick just a broad topic, we'll be all over the place and we'll end up just talking about everything. So.
Yeah, we'll do tides. Monkey cat pat
Oh,
pat.
I'll
Thank
do
you for
tides.
3 months
Okay,
membership.
I'll do a debate. Listen, I'll do a debate with you on tides. I will, but it gotta be like, I need at least like a week or so though, because I'm only
You'll
streaming
need more than a week.
Yeah.
Please, not for studying. Are you serious? All I gotta do is go read my notes that I already have written down. But I'm saying, like, I only stream like once or twice a week. I only stream like once or twice a week.
Echo, chamber.
What, reading? Hold on. I don't need more than a week, because I've been studying this my whole life. Like I said, in 2010 was the first time that I got interested in physics, and I started reading Einstein, and I've realized, like, oh wow, so gravity is not mass attracting mass. It's the beginning of working in space time. I learned that in 2010. I've been reading every day since.
It is.
This is why I know so much more than you guys. All right.
No, it is not.
Yeah. What warps space time? By the way,
what causes curvature of space time?
I don't believe that space time curves.
According to general relativity, what causes the bending of space time?
Math.
He's only just learned it.
And mass causes.
Listen, I know what you're going to say, but it's still not mass attracting mass, buddy. It's still not mass attracting mass.
You just proved yourself.
No, I did not. No, I did not. You guys need to learn the meanings of words.
That's 1-0 in the debate there, bro.
Stop transmuting. Stop transmuting.
1-0 in the debate there, bro.
Stop transmuting.
Sorry, bro. You lose.
Okay, I want to share this. If there's a way that Ross could be quiet for the 50 seconds that this video is. So I'm Mike Tyson, and then Ross is Jake here, and then this was me. This is what I was doing before our debate. Hold on, let's watch this.
I'll give you this.
I don't know what I'm gonna do to this kid.
Did he actually fight?
I don't know what I'm gonna do to this kid. You know, I'm scared. I'm just looking at him. He's a little pussy. Damn, he's a little baby. You know, I'm scared I'm gonna tear his baby legs off and hit him with them. You know, you don't know what I'm capable of. You don't fucking deserve it. You know, I gotta let loose on him. You know, you just gotta fucking ruin this guy. I'm gonna World War III this kid.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if you guys heard the audio on that or not.
Yeah, we did. No, it was funny. Audio was funny.
But yeah, no, that was me before our debate. I was so scared. I was just gonna rip your little baby legs off and beat you with them.
You know what, Leo? Because I'm not a sore winner. You got it, bro. I'll give you that. Because I actually went out there and won. I'm trying to tell you, like, I'm a resentful winner, bro. I'm like, listen. In all video games, I can't stand when I beat my friends. Listen, Leo. I can't stand when I beat my friends at video games because it ruins it, right? Now they're mad and they're upset. So after I win one time, I start feeling bad and I let them win so we can have a good time. You know what I mean? In video games.
Russ, are you saying that you can PK me in RuneScape? Dude, I will drop your bitch ass so fucking.
I don't play that. But in Super Smash, you and 3 people.
Hey, Ross.
You and 3 people versus me. I'll do you just like debating. You tell me versus 3 people, I'm that good at Super Smash. Hey, I'm that good at Super Smash. All right. And a throwback for my real nerds. For my real nerds, you cannot. You don't have one Pokemon lineup that can beat me in any game. In any Pokemon game, I guarantee you, you'll get waxed. I promise.
Let's do it.
Super Smash. Any Pokemon game. Period.
Wait, he's a regular Pikachu, isn't he?
Let's do a real. Let's do a real
Pikachu
boxing match.
Gyarados, baby. I'm a regular Gyarados. I'm even Morty. I'm a Magikarp until I turn into Gyarados. Then
Let's do a real boxing match between a flat earther and a true earther.
A boxing match.
Greg,
you guys don't want to do that. You guys don't want to do that.
Review match.
All you guys like 5'5" and shit.
I'll fight a flat earther.
I'm 5'8",
buddy. You think I'm
5'8"? Oh, excuse me. 5'8". Excuse me.
Wait. You think?
Yeah, that's 3 fucking whole inches, buddy.
I think Ozzy is the only one that people have been saying that's tall. I think everybody says Ozian
No,
is
Yeah,
tall,
Ozian's
but
definitely the
6'5",
tallest one out
dude.
of all of us. Yeah.
You think
Listen,
I'm
listen.
5'5".
Everybody.
listen,
even admits he's tall.
listen.
Even Mitch said he's
Just know
tall.
that
He's
I
gonna
got the
stand. You had
same.
to turn the camera all the way up just to stand up and be seen.
No. Ozian is a big dude, but you're too slow. You're too slow. All right, you're too slow. Ozian.
You know what's
Wait.
funny?
I
is
got
have
the
a
same
feeling
body
that
style as
Ozian actually
Benavidez.
probably is that
Listen.
slow.
I got the same body style as Benavidez. I'm tall. I'm very skinny. I'm fast and very long. Pause. You know what I mean? I'm a
what-
bitch
How
to
much
fight.
you weigh?
all right?
You're in a different
What
weight class.
phone do you think that is?
What?
Which phone do you think that was? Which phone model?
It's I don't know. It's an Android though for
You
sure.
should go grab like a soda can.
Take
or
a
something.
guess.
It's an Android for sure.
Take a guess.
Yeah.
Is it an Android?
Yeah.
I mean, see, look, an Android can't beat me in boxing. You think I'm gonna lose to an Android? Come on now. Ain't no true iPhone dude in the world is gonna lose to somebody that has a damn Android. All right. No offense, all right. You guys are eclectic. I get it. You guys have your own area of expertise. You probably do a lot of coding on your phone, right? But listen, come on, man. No iPhone is gonna get knocked out by an Android.
Here's a 16-ounce can.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're a big dude, Ozian. But listen, did you see the mountain in Game of Thrones before the dude got cocky? Before the dude got cocky, you see what he was doing to the mountain? That's what I'm saying. He was spinning around and dancing.
Let's be real.
Big,
Oberyn was fucking him up, and then he got cocky, and he got
cocky. That's what I'm saying.
Dumbass.
Yeah. On the other hand,
I hated that scene. I hated that scene.
On the other hand,
you know.
that was fantasy. To be fair,
I hated that scene so much. But
Not
Ozian,
real.
listen, I'm not afraid of big guys. All right, my brother's 6'5", Ozian. My brother's your height, so I grew up getting knocked out by a dude your height. So I'm not afraid to get beat up by a guy your height. You know, I got beat up all the time. It's all right.
That does explain a lot.
No, but it would just be
it does explain a lot, right? No, think about it. Why am I like this? Why am I like this?
It would just explains a lot of it.
It would just be for pure publicity for YouTube to make money.
No, hey, look, I'll be with it. Hey, I don't give a fuck. I'm sure some other people would too, but I'm look. I don't know. It would have to really be worth it, you know, because I got I got other stuff I'm doing in real life. You know what I mean?
You can wear.
I'm not at the level. Listen, I'm not at the level of business where the other business dealings I have are going to survive me doing a weird ass boxing match online. All right, I still have business that I want to be taken seriously. I want to be taken seriously for in my real life. All right, if I was only doing internet stuff, then maybe. But
I can go visit my daughter in Fresno, so it's all good.
I don't think you can afford to lose what little looks you've got left. So
I don't care about the internet. That's my point. I'm just saying, like, I do business in regular life. I don't want people coming up to me trying me thinking that they can fight me because they saw me maybe get beat up on YouTube. But I'm not gonna fight nobody in real life. Listen, I'm not fighting nobody in real life. If you come up to me in real life, think you're gonna get a fight?
Anyways,
this is America, all right? This is America, all right? I exercise my Second Amendment. We do not fight random people on the street.
No, it would be like for charity. We could give.
Well, look, like
we
I said,
can
we
get
can talk
the
about
money.
that.
We can give the money to recover.
Yeah, and we can talk shit before. Yeah, look, it's all good, man. Whatever you want to do, man.
We could give the money to help.
But like Samosa was saying, right? My brother is 6'5", right? So I grew up having to fight niggas bigger than me. You think I'm afraid of anybody? That's why I talk like this.
You just did it again.
I talk like this.
And it's a hard R, dude. Why
to everybody.
He did not. He didn't hard R it. He didn't hard R it.
My bad. And I didn't even hear myself say it. It's an accident. But listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've watched channels with a bunch of black people on them. That word flies all the time, and they're still putting up videos. If it's black people and it's the soft A, that YouTube probably doesn't really want you to say it. But from what I've seen, they're not going to take videos down unless like it's hard R or like white people.
No, they definitely won't, because my videos are still up, and trust me.
I get you.
Flies, doesn't it?
Well, people hear it, they get all upset. So.
Right, and that's why I say, let me know when I say it, and I will apologize because I get kids are sometimes listening to this, and you want it to be a friendly platform.
Well,
right?
Kids aren't supposed to. Well,
but I do think that, look, I get where people are getting upset. I genuinely get that. But at the same time, you got to understand, Ross is a black man. The black community, particularly in America, is different. Their slang is different. Their language is different. It's literally called Ebonics. So that word, like he says it. He doesn't even think about him saying like it. Like
100% true.
Having grown up in the black community, I very much get it.
Right. And on this note, before I get out of here, I'll say this. Shout out Bobby and the Shit Show, right? Because that's where I stream during the week when I'm not on my channel. and I'm often a panelist over there, right? The reason why I say it so much is because I am a hard R. All right, you guys, you maybe don't come across them all the time, but trust me, I was raised by hard R's. I'm a hard R. I'm the one that doesn't care, will say anything. I'll walk in your house smelling like weed. You don't want me over your house because I'll be smoking weed before I come over there. Just unbearable. Unbearable, right? Listen, unbearable.
Well,
all right, so
you're
this is
also
what I'm saying.
in my lingo, we'd also call you a big C. So that's fair enough.
Good thing nobody can understand what you're saying.
It's
so it doesn't matter.
Australia.
Yeah, nobody.
Big C.
He is Australian. No, he is Australian. Nigga,
no.
See, how did I know that you? That's why they sent you down there. You know why they sent you down there? Because you talk like that, bro. We can't understand you. You're dumb as hell. You have no manners. That's why they sent your people down there. Yes.
Simons, don't you have a degree in mathematics?
I do, yeah.
From Australia?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't count then because it's from Australia. There's a reason why they sent you guys down there. All right?
I love all the people that just sent me $5. Thank you, Monkey Cap to just derail
Ross
my
0, England 12.
I don't know to be sorry or happy for asking Ross to come in here. I appreciate Ross for coming.
Come on, this is the most entertaining show you guys had all week, all right? Go follow the shit show. You can find me on there. Follow me at Real Offended, all right? I appreciate everybody on the panel. You guys are all good sports, except Samosa. He's a crybaby little girl. He's a crybaby little girl. As Australians often are.
Ross, can you say ocean for me?
Yeah, you wanna hide that butt hurt a little more, son.
Can you say ocean for me real quick, Ross?
Ocean?
Yeah, ocean.
Ocean? Why? What's wrong with that?
Damn it, nothing.
He's California.
See?
I was expecting it. No, I was expecting it to come out sounding ocean.
It's all good. Hey, Mick Toon thought he was going to beat me in our debate about gravity and our double team debate, and he lost. Hey, listen, I'm 9-0, baby. I'm Mike Tyson, all right? Saitama, One Punch Man, Goku. Hey, Goku. Evil Morty.
Oh, you're Goku?
Evil Morty. All right, let's get it.
You know who I am? I'm God. Okay, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the fucking creator of the heavens and the earth, the sustainer of all things, and from which all things are sustained. Top that.
I believe you, Leo. Hey, I believe in Leo. I believe in God. So does Leo. Go. Shout out the shit show. You can find me over there. Peace.
Yeah, good day, mate.
All right. Oh, he didn't end his stream.
Well, I believe in God, huh? Well, I mean, I guess Amelia Clark is a real person, so maybe I kind of do believe in God just a little bit.
Of course you do. That was hilarious. You
were just like, well, you didn't say anything. Well, you just sat there laughing through the whole fucking show.
I'm going to tell you something. It's exactly what I said. What I said in the beginning about Ross was exactly the truth. I said, my man wants it, and he does it. And like people are like, oh my God, he really believes it. No, he said it even on the show. He's like,
Jerry.
He's like, yeah, I do this purposely. This is my brand, and this is what I do. Simons don't take anything he said personally.
Of course not.
Simons doesn't.
The whole thing is a joke, and it's like
hilarious that he thought I was Australian. I mean, that just shows the level.
He sent it to Mark Reed too. He sent it to Mark Reed too. He's like, "Oh, he said to Mark Reed.
Yeah, he did it. I remember when he did that.
Yeah.
He said, Mark Reed, he's like, "Oh, you puppet," and I'm like, "No."
And Mark's like, "Mate, I'm Australian, dude." Like,
he says. He's out there. He said like Fresno to like Bakersfield or something. That's like Central Valley, California.
Mm-hmm.
We call that like the armpit of California.
He's just having a good time, and that's it. He wants these debates to have a good time. He doesn't believe in any of this stuff. I don't. He's read the stuff and he's having a good time. That's it.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like debaters like him who actually don't really believe in it. The people who really believe in it are kind of scary, but people who are just like, yeah, it's like, like a debate club where you have to know both sides of the argument. You learn the other kinds. That's what I feel with Ross. He's like, I learned some of these arguments. I'm going to use them because this is fun. Like, come on now. The real people who believe in this are people who literally believe like the Bible is true. There are a lot of them are like conspiracy theorists. You know what I mean? Like serious people who are.
Yeah, they think that the world is controlled, and it's definitely by the Jews.
This is what I brought. Let me show you this video, and this is very telling. Let's see if I can find it because I've been posting way too many shorts. It's the short I made with Dustin Nemos, and you can see Ross's face in the short. And
Dustin Nemos' wife is Chinese, so he can't be racist. Okay.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well, that makes sense.
It's not possible.
Probable. How many Chinese people have you met? Fuck.
Yeah, just watch Ross's face, the way he looks.
Mention that the same tribe that rules the world, both of which are present here, have a design to hide God from you, and there is. 15. It says there is a seed of the serpent
me. Are you
and the
talking
seed
about
of the
me?
woman.
Wait. Are you talking about me now?
Seed of the serpent versus.
Wait, are
seed
you
of the
talking
woman.
about me?
All right, if
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, let's try not to.
Are you
Nephilim.
insulting me right now? I'm going to interrupt you. Are you insulting me right now?
Demon, Nephilim. That's
So
why
you're
you hide
trying to
God.
insult me.
There's no such
You're trying
thing.
to say-
That's
you're
why
trying
you
to tell
hide
me
the
that
truth.
demon-
That's why you hide the truth.
exist.
I just want to.
That's why you're so desperate.
Dude,
Look,
look,
so
in the midst of all this religion, look.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's classic.
I love
yeah.
how they have to act like science is hiding God when like divine hiddenness is already a problem. Like God is hiding his fucking self. Like what are you talking about, dude? Dude,
that's one of
just
the,
hiding
that's
God.
one of the arguments.
What?
Yeah.
Why do I need to hide God? I can't find the fucker. What are you talking about?
You can see like he's like, am I really here right now? What's going on here?
Yeah. I feel like Ross was like, this is not what I came here for. I came
Ross
here to talk
is
shit.
here to
Not
have
fun.
fun. Like you saw that,
Yeah.
Leo, like how you had banter with him. He's like having fun, and it's like,
Oh no,
dude, he's-
I have a blast when I talk with Ross. Like straight up, I'll be honest, it's a fucking blast for me. My debate with him was an absolute blast.
That's it. He's having a good time. He's having fun, and then you see the Dustin Nemos who actually believes in this rubbish, and then Ross is like, "What the heck is this?"
What?
Like,
He's like, "Oh, dude, for real."
Like this guy actually is. He like this guy needs to go to a mental asylum. Like Dustin Nemos needs to go to a mental asylum. You know
Dude,
what
what's
I mean?
up with his Amish ass beard, dude? Like, what?
He's cut it off. He's
Next time I see him, I might just call him good old Jebediah. Hey, Jebediah,
why
how you
would
doing?
Issa is a Democrat need approval? I don't know what that's about.
Is Issa a Democrat?
I would say that I would fit. Ocean and I are pretty aligned, like libertarian. I'm somewhere in between libertarian Green Party. I kind of dig both of that. But
Wait, so you and Ozian agree in that you're libertarian, but you would disagree in that he's a libertarian right and you're libertarian left. That's what it's sounding like.
I'm a libertarian. I don't know where Ocean fits there, but I'm definitely a libertarian left. I'm leftist.
See, central.
Yeah.
Libertarian.
You're a centrist. I'm more of a leftist.
Yeah, when I did the little stupid test, I fall like libertarian centrist.
I don't even make the scale. I'm a Marxist. So I don't like. Yeah.
Well, all of you.
There's no quadrant for that.
There's no such thing as a left in America.
I completely
there
get
isn't.
Marxism. A lot of people critique it, but they don't understand it. It's like I don't really.
I've never met a person that provided
Oh,
a
I
critique
didn't
of Marxism that didn't understand what it was that they were critiquing. I'm going to be straight up on. I have not yet.
They straw man Marxism and they try to make it into this like evil boogeyman. Like it's, I don't know if you saw Red Dawn. It's like an 80s movie, but it's like that's what they think communism and Marxism is, like these evil gulags and Russians.
We're going to take over society and you're going to have to share your lawnmower with all like 310 of your neighbors, which means you'll never get to use it.
And the truth is they're actually oligarchies. These are actually oligarchies that were existing, and monarchies and oligarchies masquerading as Marxists. Like, what do you think Stalin was? He consolidated all the
authoritarian.
Exactly. They consolidated all the power and wealth to themselves and their cronies. That's what these things were. They just used that framework.
They just knew Marxism is going to appeal to the working class people whose votes they need.
And they use them to get the stuff. They put these people and said, we care about you. We'll get you resources. And they use them. And then they stole all the resources for themselves, you know, as good crooks do, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's because people don't read Marx, like you said, Issa, and they don't understand that, like, socialism is not, you couldn't have, like, a single country that was truly socialist within a broader globally capitalist mode of production. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's not how like when people tell me, oh, but we've got like a mixed economy. No, we don't. Nowhere in the world is a mixed economies. Economies straight the fuck up do not work that way. Every economy on this planet is capitalist. Well, but that doesn't matter. It's still capitalism because it is private ownership over the means of production, commodification, and market incentives.
But
That's
Star Trek,
capitalism.
but Star Trek is communist.
But Star Trek.
No.
I know. I always argue with that. That's futurism, dude.
I think you're thinking of Deep Space Nine.
Is it? No.
I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point.
You know what? It is funny, like how our politics are. Like a person who's considered an extreme leftist here is like Bernie Sanders, and he would be considered more of like a right wing politician in Europe, which is really funny.
Central.
Well, it's, when he was younger, though, he was more of a Marxist. But I think
I don't think that Bernie Sanders has identified as or acknowledged that he's ever been a socialist, a communist, or a Marxist. So I personally am not going to categorize him as any of those. I would categorize him as your typical, just a typical leftist politician, a social democrat.
I hear you. But I'm just saying,
there's like 9 people in all of the U.S. Congress federal level. Sorry to interrupt. That are leftist, like, and they like can't do anything because there's just like 9 of them.
And I feel you. I think that the thing is that's the framework that we see politically speaking, is that like any dissenting voices who have a different kind of view don't really have a place. You have to do a lot of the problem with a lot of the politics in the United States, and like when people look at us like your country's like a disaster. That's what people
okay.
Like, it's all about hustling money.
The money.
What do you think about the state of the people paying attention? Well, they're not really paying attention, but the social media people that always think they're involved in politics, but they're really not. But the people that pretend like they're really active, and hopefully I don't offend anybody in the audience. Please don't be offended. But if you look at the swings from 4 years ago, where Biden was up almost 9 points 4 years ago against Trump. Right now, there's a 13-point swing between 4 years ago. Trump's up like 4 points in the 5-way split, where Biden was up 9 points. It's fully a 13-point swing from four years ago. But Democrats still think they're ahead. But they're 4 points behind from 4 years ago. Like they have to really be concerned. And Trump is a felon. Trump still has outstanding cases. They're all pissed off. They think Matt Dillahunty made a tweet the other day, said, Biden, you need to pack the courts right now. You need to add 6 new SCOTUSes right now. Like Matt Dillahunty doesn't understand that that Biden doesn't have the authority. They don't control the House. They don't to pass a law. They have to change the rules, the code, to add more justices. They don't control the House, and they only have 47 Democrats. The only reason why they have a majority is because 4 independents caucus in the Senate with the Democrats. So, like, where are they going to get the majority even in the Senate? Even if they can pass the
hypothetical question for you here. Who's more likely to be a flat earther, Trump or Biden?
Trump.
I
think it's easily Trump.
I think right now Biden probably doesn't know who he is. But yeah,
he doesn't know what planet he's on.
I don't know. I think Trump is probably too American and too rah about.
He definitely Trump, because he's conspiracy, isn't he? Remember when the COVID thing came out and he was talking about bleach?
He didn't talk about bleach.
Yeah, well, actually, when it came to the bleach thing, I will clear that one up. Actually, supposedly he was talking to some people that were looking at a specific chemical within the bleach. And instead of him actually using the actual words that were told to him, he just said bleach.
He never said bleach. He never said the word bleach. He said disinfectant. And he was talking about lungs. Nope, never said bleach. He was talking about disinfectant and lungs.
Right, but he quoted the doctor that said bleach, right?
No.
Okay, which doctor did he quote?
No doctors.
Oh, well, then we're talking about a different incident.
No. No,
Yeah.
he never
Yeah, we
said
are.
bleach. And Biden lied about it when he said inject bleach. He never said inject bleach. The media reported that. That was the media reporting that.
I actually saw a press conference he did.
I saw the press
He
conference.
not only
too.
said that, but he also said the doctor that had recommended it.
No, they were talking about Invetter, whatever the heck. We shouldn't even
No,
talk
this was
about
way before that. It was way before
They
that.
were talking about UV lights or whatever that could kill it.
Yeah, he said there was several different things.
Yeah,
One
and
of
then
them
they
was
were talking about disinfectants, not bleach. But yeah,
bleach is a disinfectant. Yeah,
it is. I agree it is. But he did say disinfectants. But
yeah, and he also mentioned the doctor that had recommended it.
Yeah. But it was disinfectant. He didn't say the other word. But
anyway, just to say,
it was
that's
still bad,
quite
and it was
conspiratorial.
still brainstorming. I'm
Agreed,
not
it was
saying it was
brainstorming.
good, and it was brainstorming. Just put it in context
Agreed.
of what it
Agreed.
is.
Yeah.
And it's not the proper place to do it in a press conference
Nope.
during a.
But it does show his
pandemic.
conspiratorial attitude.
But it wasn't like a conspiratorial attitude. Like it was brainstorming of like, could we do something about it?
Yeah.
But he did fast track the vaccine. I don't know how that's a conspiratorial attitude.
Okay.
He's just
going
doesn't
into a press
understand
conference
science.
and saying this is a potential cure, as far as I'm concerned, is conspiratorial attitude.
I will take back my thing on the bleach thing. I actually just watched the clip. He actually said inject disinfectant.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I just had to make sure.
I think he quoted the doctor, and the doctor had said bleach, something like that. It is
Well,
a lot
actually,
of years ago.
I just watched the 48-second clip, and he was talking to the doctor saying, inject disinfectant, bleach, and also putting like UV light inside the body too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it wasn't the appropriate place. We need to be very careful, please. Let's not talk about it anymore because YouTube misinformation nonsense.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear up what I said because I was wrong, so I'll admit that. But
okay, yeah,
I
you
think
shouldn't have talked about it. But I just want to make sure if we're going to talk about the stupid shit people say, that we don't misquote them. That it's in context and it's the right place and time. So, like I during the debate, I like talked about what people took out of context. And X, you're free to like say this stuff. I hate YouTube. And so I pointed out like the things like Trump said a lot of things that were like not true about Biden also.
Well, one thing I will say, which kind of makes me still laugh to this day, was he did, say that I'm going to push to make sure that the vaccine does come out sooner. And then like all of his supporters were like, yes, yes. And then the moment it came out, it's like they all of a sudden made a complete 180 and we're like, no, it's poison, it's deadly. I'm like, but your guy is the one who pushed it to get out.
That's because they're just driven by rhetoric and not facts or data. They don't care about any of that. I did want to make a quick comment on the Supreme Court. Number one, it should be packed by specifically the Democratic Party. And number two, right now they can't, pragmatically speaking, because you need 60 votes in the Senate. And the Democrats wouldn't get that, obviously. But that aside, it can be done. It just you don't need a change in amendment or anything. The Constitution doesn't outline how many.
No, they have to change the
justices.
law.
Yeah, it just has to go through the House and the Senate. That's what I'm saying. You'd have to propose legislation.
The House.
That's fine. I understand all of this. I'm just describing the process.
Yeah. They already
have to
tried
propose
to pass a law.
I know that. Of course, it's not going to pass. I'm just explaining the process of how you go about doing it by submitting legislation that gets passed by the House and then by the Senate, and then the president would then make the appointments. But last time it was changed was 1869, and that was increased to 9 seats. And it was argued that the Supreme Court should be increased to 9 seats because at the time there were 9 circuit courts. How many circuit courts are there now?
Still
I'll give you a
13.
hint. It's not 9.
15. I think it's 15.
I think it's either 12 or 13. So I think the number of
Over
seats on the Supreme Court should
13?
be increased either 12 or 13.
Yeah, it might be
And
15.
the same argumentation should be used. That's how many circuit courts there are.
13.
Well,
13.
I agree.
Well, the one thing I'll say is, after seeing what the Supreme Court did with the whole homeless thing, I don't know if I trust them anymore.
Well, that's why I'm saying make it so we have 4 more seats that a preferably Democrat can appoint justices to, because they're not going to appoint extraordinarily conservative, hyper fucking traditionalist justices like the last 3.
Well, to be honest, we need more independent people than
I don't
either
want
left or right.
independence. I do not want independence. Independence, this whole centrism is better thing is complete bullshit. The side that has it right is the left. Reality supports leftism.
Both sides are exactly the same. They just come at things differently.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not even remotely the same. One side wants like trans people dead, and the other side wants everyone to have health care.
Okay.
You're going to sit here and tell me that they're the same?
Wait, the Roberts Court actually determined that Title VII interprets sex to include gender.
That's yeah, and sex and gender are
the
not
Roberts
the same thing.
Court. What? No, Roberts Court said that they cannot discriminate based on gender. They included.
That's fine. It's still happening.
Hey, Leo, I gotta make a correction. You said that all 3 Supreme Court justices were hyper traditionalists. I'm so sorry, but Brett Kavanaugh is a frat boy. Okay, he's a traditional frat boy. I just had to add that.
But Leo, the Roberts courts, this so-called conservative court, interpreted Title VII that they cannot discriminate based on gender.
I know this. I don't know what the point being made here is.
That they cannot discriminate against transgender people.
Yeah, but I never said anything about that.
Okay, but you said they wanted him dead. Obviously not, because he
said... clearly I was being a little bit hyperbolic when I said that conservatives want trans people dead. But it's clear that conservatives don't like trans people. And it's clear that Republicans, because they've done this in over 20 states, have written laws directly targeting trans people. It's clear they don't want these people to be an open part of society. But then the other side wants all people, even the people they don't like, to have health care. They're not the fucking same.
It doesn't mean this court will support it, though. And a lot of these laws go towards.
But what I'm saying is not relevant to specifically the Supreme Court. I don't care what specifically the Supreme Court do. I'm talking about the Republican Party. I'm talking about conservatism as a political movement in America and where it stands compared to leftism as a political movement in America.
I do agree we should have 1 justice per circuit, but I don't agree it should be 13, because I don't think 13 circuits are enough, because I think like the 9th circuit's too big. I think the 5th circuit's too big. I think some of the circuits are too big because they cover too much territory.
I want to piggyback off of something Leo said, and I think it is an important thing. There are rights in our society, and if certain people interpret the law, certain people will not have rights. And I think it's even deeper than just trans rights. You can say it's the whole gamut of LGBTQIA+. You could say it could be ethnic, racial. They've actually cut out, what's his name, that dude in Florida, wanted to cut out all the diversity. Yeah, DeSantis wanted to cut out all the diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff. And I get it. There's some issues in DEI, but to just say I'm going to cancel DEI, it's the same thing that Ronald Reagan did when he cut out the mental asylums. We need mental asylums. Certain people need to have that care. They need to be put in those kinds of spaces. But what happens is people say, well, if there's some issues, let's just cut it out. And that's the thing. There's not a real reflection, and there's not a real care for people in society, because I agree with Leo. I think that certain people, it's not about people. It's about who's my contingency, and it's about me making money and
protecting power and privilege.
Exactly. And it's not about people's lives. And, I think that's an
You
important.
know, I want to point something out in the chat. Like, people are saying this is gross or whatever. Like, it's not.
That person's
Your
been trolling.
your disgust level about somebody's lifestyle or identity shouldn't matter to if their status and their lifestyle is protected in society. So that's the point. So somebody shouldn't be denied housing based upon their gender.
Yeah,
They shouldn't be denied work based upon their gender.
Yeah.
The conservative court, the Roberts court, has already determined that gender is intrinsically tied to sex. That our right to not be discriminated against based on the Civil Rights Act, and unfortunately, the Civil Rights Act is only law. It's not a protected right because it's not in our Constitution. It is legislation, and I think we should have a constitutional
Which
amendment.
political party has tried to undermine it? I'll give you a hint. It's not the one that's traditionally associated with the left.
But hold on.
Hold on. I didn't finish. It was Leo that interrupted me. And then
Well, you paused. I thought you were done.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Batman.
No, I was just gonna say, when I looked into those laws that discriminate against trans people, which I don't agree with, they couldn't just straight up do it strictly to trans people because that would go against one of the amendments.
What amendment?
What they did, it's the I'm forgetting which one it is. It's the one where you're protected under race, sex, gender.
There isn't one.
Or was it the Constitution? I think it was.
There's no amendment that protects you based on your sex.
Or is it the Constitution? It was one of them. But
wait, your sex is not protected under the U.S. Constitution. Your race is not protected under the U.S. Constitution. Actually, your race is more protected under the U.S. Constitution because of the.
But doesn't it say race, gender?
No.
Sex?
No. That's why I was just explaining. I just explained that just a moment ago. You weren't listening.
But okay, well, besides that, but when I looked into these laws, they're based around religion. They're allowing religious people to discriminate against people that are trans from getting housing or jobs.
Well, in some states, but there are some states that are explicitly saying, yeah, if you're trans, even if you're 18, you are legally barred from getting. Now, a lot of these laws have been shot down. They never actually went through, but that's not the point. The point that I was making is that there's one side of the political aisle that's clearly targeting trans people amongst some others, and it's not the left. The point that I was making is that the left and the right are not the same at all. But remotely.
That's not a left versus right issue. That's a Christian.
Yes, exactly.
What side of the political aisle do we find most Christians here in the United States?
But there are Christians on the Democrat
let's be
side
serious
too.
here, but that's not what I asked. Which side are most Christians on?
I agree.
Which side is typically associated with the evangelical Christians?
Well, can we
let's
agree
get real
Democrats
here.
aren't really left, but anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Democratic Party is even a remotely leftist party. I think it's just a moderate right.
But the Republicans are becoming Christian nationalists is the problem, and they're friggin' trying to instill.
I think they are.
They're becoming crazy lunatics, degenerate friggin'. They're becoming dangerous. I don't know what to say besides that. And
by the way, I'm
Trump's
sorry. Go ahead.
becoming worse, and I don't know what to say.
By the way, it's Amendment 4. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
14th Amendment is equal protection.
Yeah, I was going to read it because I have the little pocket constitution that you get from the ACLU. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. So it refers to just bare citizenship, which was the point of the founding fathers, is they weren't trying to specify who does and does. If you're a citizen, you get the rights and they are not to be taken from you. They can't be. You're a citizen. Doesn't matter if you're a trans citizen, a black citizen, a white, it doesn't matter. You're a citizen. And that's the way I look at it.
And we shouldn't need a Civil Rights Act, but we do.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well, if I could just say goodbye, as an Australian, I think you need more religion in your politics.
Says the guy who
Thank
comes
you
from
very
a country
much.
whose church
And
is
we're-
directly tied to one of
and
its
we're
houses.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're a
Yeah,
secular nation too. Like we have.
I know it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
and then you
anyway,
got
there you go. Thanks everybody, and I'll catch up with you when I do. Take care.
take it
Later,
easy,
Simus.
Simus.
Well,
Just like
the
what's going on in Louisiana and which side of the political aisle is
I
doing
know.
that.
Louisiana and Oklahoma. What's the
I
other
think
country?
Oklahoma,
What's the
yeah.
other- Yeah, they decide they're going to put a Bible in every classroom.
Yeah, they're mandating it. The education leaders
Yeah.
in Oklahoma.
It's not education. It's it's superintendent. That's
Yeah, it's the guy who runs
But-
the education system.
They're going to get overturned. They're going to get stayed. They're going to get told you're
Probably, yeah.
not to do that. And then SCOTUS will do the right thing. I think they're trying to use
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
After the
so.
homeless thing, I don't have much faith in them.
What did the homeless is? What did the homeless?
They basically made it basically illegal. So you
criminalized
can get
homelessness.
fined and thrown in jail for being homeless without a
but
home.
That's a different thing than to do with the establishment clause when it comes to religion. So you have an establishment clause that the state cannot say what religious that the state cannot establish a religion. So that there's a constitutional right that we have with the First Amendment. There's no constitutional right that you can live on the streets.
Yeah, but the problem is if somebody who is trying to get their life in order, but there's no place for them to really get the help, and they end up going to jail, get fined. How are they supposed to pay the fine off? They're going to end up having to be on the street and then get jailed again and fined again. I mean, my
understand
state, which
that,
has been Democrat for a long time, is pushing this and saying, yes, you will be fined and jailed for being homeless.
Did
And then
they
now you
act-
have a criminal record, so trying to find a job becomes that much harder. Trying to get loans
Exactly.
becomes that much harder.
I
Not
don't
that homeless people are
agree.
going to get loans from any fucking
Yeah,
bank
yeah.
anyway.
I can't
I'm
even
not-
get barely any loans.
Let me ask. So that the problem is a ruling. It has to be based upon some constitutional right. What was the constitutional right to live on public land if you're homeless?
Nobody's saying it's a constitutional right.
Okay.
What's
But we
being
make
said is
people
people
homeless.
shouldn't be punished for it.
Yeah, especially when
We should s-
corporations have had too much power. The cost of living is skyrocketed. Where
That doesn't. I understand all these problems with it. I understand all the problems with homelessness.
well, I just
You
don't
have
do
to
you want to
establish-
solve them or just like punish them?
I want
which
to
which do you
solve-
think is better?
I don't think we should punish them, but they're not imprisoning them. They're doing civil.
no, they're
fines or
jailing
something
them.
like that.
They're jailing them
They're
and fining
jailing
them.
them. They're not imprisoning them. They're jailing them, and they're fining them. There's civil penalties for trespassing, basically. So, and they can get jobs. They're not felons or anything like that. It'll be harder to get a job, but
Yeah.
But the problem is, you kind of need a place to be able to, get a good job
yeah, you
because a
need
lot
an
of jobs
address.
need
So they
you
need-
need an address.
they need
And a bank
but
account.
You,
A lot of homeless people don't have a bank account because they don't have any money to put in
Yeah.
it.
but being on the street doesn't give you a place to live. So they need to get a homes.
But
That's
here's
the
the thing.
Yeah, but not when homes cost
Okay,
$570,000 in
how-
another city, and we're talking
Okay,
about
let's
homeless
go
people.
back to the claim. Batman, you're saying that it's the same as the establishment clause. It's totally different.
No,
We have a
nobody
con-
was saying that. The
No, I
establishment
didn't
clause
say
is
that.
not a part
Batman
of this discussion.
Batman said that he's based upon this thing. He doesn't have any faith that they're going to uphold the First Amendment. We have a First Amendment right that protects us from them putting the 10 Commandments in every school.
That
and
doesn't
them
mean that the
putting
court will
Bible in
respect
every
it.
school.
I suspect
pretty-
that they will, but
Yes.
we don't know. And what if they do rule in favor of what these states are doing? What then? Seriously. What hypothetically, what if they did? What then?
Well, that'd be a problem. I'd have a problem with that.
Well, and you also have to remember some of these people put in the Supreme Court were put there by Trump, and Trump wants states to have full rights. Which I agree to a certain extent, but
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 what's
like
what's Trump's position on morning after pills?
They should be illegal.
Nope.
Well, I know he's against abortion.
What's
wants
Trump's
doctors
position
to be
on
locked up.
He just had a debate. What was his position on morning after pills?
Oh, I didn't watch the debate. It make
what
my
was
head hurt.
His, and a lot of Republicans are mad at him about it. Why do you think they're mad at it about morning after pills?
Because it's a form of abortion to them.
Yeah, because he's okay with morning after pills.
That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. What was his position on
Hitler? Probably liked puppies. That doesn't make him any more attractive
I know.
to me.
What was his position on abortion for rape, incest, and that type of health of the mother?
It's funny how a woman has to be violated before she gets a decision about what happens to her body.
What do you think Trump's position was for that? But no, this is just to show that you're making black and white fallacies when you actually don't know Trump's positions on these issues.
Well, I know his positions on these. It just doesn't matter to me because that's not where my criticism of him lies.
Yeah, it's not mine either. I'm just pointing that man doesn't understand his position.
Well, I didn't watch the debate because it was Idiot 1 versus Idiot 2. So, I mean, it was like...
Well, I'm just pointing out you don't understand his positions. He does support morning after pills, and he does support abortions in certain cases. So you're just wrong.
Well, no,
that.
I mean that's fine. But
how do you? So how do you know what his position is going to be on the First Amendment when it comes to Establishment Clause?
I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't.
I don't either. So when it comes to state rights, abortion, he felt that abortion, because abortion isn't in the Constitution, but the First Amendment, Establishment Clause, is in the Constitution.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff's not in the Constitution. So,
but the First Amendment Establishment Clause is in the Constitution.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
the
emoluments clause is also the Constitution. And how did Republicans deal with that? They acquit.
You're innocent. You're acquitted.
Well, at the end of the day, the government hates poor people. At the end of the day, your life is basically worthless to them. So, I mean, I don't have much faith in it. No, I mean, 90% of people incarcerated in the United States are living under the poverty line.
Because
90%.
You mean to tell me we have people that are just out on the streets and aren't working? They're not making capitalists money? Arrest them!
I'm confused. Wait. Are you telling me people in prison don't make any money?
No.
Barely anything.
No,
barely
that's
anything.
Not what I was saying. And people in prison, just because you pay somebody does not make it not like exploitation. Or I mean, all forms of employment under the current mode of production are technically exploitation. But it's still effectively slave labor, like wage slavery.
I'm libertarian. I think we should abolish all victimless crimes.
I don't know about that. Like somebody comes and steals a farmer's cow. There's no victim there.
You're a Marxist. Yeah, there is because you're a Marxist.
But
yeah,
the thing
what?
is,
What? Because I'm a Marxist?
You think cow's not property?
Is a cow property? Yeah, to a farmer.
But the thing is, though, there's not a single law.
The farmer.
But the thing is, though, laws don't prevent bad things from happening. What prevents bad things from happening is figuring out why people do the things they do and change the culture and environment that create that.
Laws have a preventive mechanism to prevent things from happening.
But has a single law ever prevented somebody from doing something bad? No.
Yeah. How do you know that? You're making claims, bold claims.
Because I've looked into it. I still can't find a single law that has ever prevented somebody from doing something bad.
Well, I mean, I think I get what Batman's trying to say. It's not that like there aren't people that haven't been deterred from doing something because of a law. I think what he's trying to say is that like, despite there being laws against murder, like murder happens all the fucking time, every day in like every major city. Despite the fact that there are laws against rape, people get. I mean, let's be honest here. Sexual assault against women is fucking horrible and rampant. Like, I think what he's getting at is that we have laws, and sure, yeah, there's probably some deterrent factor to them, some preventative factor to them, and yeah, having them, at least I would say, is better than not. But at the end of the day, people still commit crimes all the motherfucking time.
Yeah, so
because
there's
the source of the crimes isn't that there aren't laws; it's something else.
So there is some deterrent mechanism. So, and there's also socioeconomic problems that also cause some crime, and that would be probably violent crimes. There could be many mechanisms that cause violent crimes. It's not all socioeconomic problems. There could be psychological problems also with violent crimes.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get at, is that if we actually spent the money, because we actually know a reason why a lot of crimes happen is due to how the brain is wired, you know. So if we can actually get people the help they need,
don't
we can actually
know that. We don't know that.
No, we do. I've talked to a lot of psychologists and people that work in those fields.
We have some idea. We don't know what the wiring is that causes people to make crimes. We don't know the mechanisms to stop
we know
people
a lot.
from committing crimes. We have some ideas. Like, there's no magic pill that will stop people from committing crimes.
No. That's why I was saying that we if we set up facilities to actually help people, allow them to get the help they need, we can give them measures. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, though, there's more incentive to lock somebody up than to help them in this country, because the prison industry is a business. So
we need to de-incentivize any type of profit motive.
What do you think the best, easiest way in modern society to do that with the prison industrial complex would be?
Remove private prisons, first of all.
There we go.
Well, most are.
Well, we need to eliminate private prisons. There should be. Yeah. It is not a market. It should never be considered a market.
What about healthcare? Should healthcare be considered a market?
Probably not. I'm moving it. It's one of those things where it's hard.
Yeah, Maximiliano, we have private prisons. You gotta love America. Oh shit.
Yeah.
More people incarcerated than a country with a population approaching 2 fucking billion people.
Here's the thing. People will vote for prosecutors that have the highest number of convictions and conviction ratios. So they don't care about if the streets are safe. They care about the number of people they put in prisons.
Yep. Because that's the incentive.
Yeah, the incentive is to convict a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but from a lot of research I've read, that now sometimes the numbers change, but there are quite a lot of papers that show that about 70, maybe a little bit more than that, of people that are currently incarcerated just need basic mental health treatment.
30%. Okay. Well, okay, so all of this is true. This is all I'm saying. Crimes, having crimes are a deterrent factor. It is true. We don't know having criminal laws with penalties act as a deterrent. I think the best way, like I always approached it, like you shouldn't teach children to not steal because God's going to send them to hell or they're going to jail. You should teach children not to steal because it's of why it's wrong, like the golden rule, why it's wrong to take something from them. So why it's wrong to take something from somebody else. So
but
you should teach them the moral lessons associated with stealing, the moral lessons associated with killing, the moral lessons associated with all this stuff as children. And you should make sure you need to also teach children how to deal with the stressors they experience in life, which is eat healthy, have outlets to deal with stressors in life, such as um, exercise, competitive things to deal with stresses. Because like men in particular, they deal with stress with competition and stuff like that. But competition could
this
be
is why
playing
toxic
chess.
masculinity is bad.
Yeah, but competition could be playing chess, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't
I
have to
don't think
be
that's what they
fighting.
mean by competition. I'm pretty sure they mean like a broader form of social competition. I would
Well,
consider
Yeah.
that, yes.
and the bigger thing is, yes, you can teach all that. At the same time, though, you have to overall change the culture and environments that these people are in, because there's lots of countries where you could literally leave your
Yeah.
laptop in a coffee shop,
do you
walk
do
away
that?
for an hour, and come back, and it's still there.
DJ, how do you do that unless you start with children?
Do what?
Well,
How
you
do you
also have to
change the
change the
culture?
adults too,
How do you change the adults?
by
Yeah,
putting things into place that doesn't necessarily take away their freedom, but kind of
How do you
helps
do it?
retrain them on how to do things properly.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
Well, I can give one example. Like for instance, when it comes to driving a car, instead of telling people, hey, with a sign saying 60 miles an hour, you put regulators in cars where when they're on certain roads, they can't go past that speed, no matter how hard they try. It's retraining people.
That could be dangerous.
How would that be dangerous?
It could be dangerous to have regulators on cars.
So if somebody's going through a school zone and having it so they can't go past 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, there could be situations where they do need to speed to avoid collisions or whatever. I don't know. Or to get away from a gunman. Maybe there's a shooter. You have to speed.
Load the van full of kids to get away from the school, and it's just going 5 miles an hour down the road, and the gunman comes out and shoots up the van and kills all
but
the
if
kids.
the
anyway.
gunman's car is regulated too, then he wouldn't be able to.
No,
He
he's on feet. His feet aren't regulated.
So
there's reasons you need to go beyond the regulated speed. That's the only point I'm making. So, and that's not changing behavior. That's forcing behavior. So that's not changing culture. You're not changing the culture.
Some people
by
have to be forced to act properly in certain
That's not
ways.
Once again, that's not changing culture. You're just forcing behavior.
Well, I mean, it can drive culture changes.
Yeah.
You don't think that there were culture changes in Nazi Germany, despite the fact that most of them were forced on people? Those were still changes in the culture.
You just you'd have to enforce them. But the organic way to do it, to making sure it's long doing, you have to start with children. But to convince people, I think we should be teaching morality in school.
So
but I don't know how we do that.
Teach philosophy and then teach morality. Because I tend to think, and I could be very wrong on this, it is kind of just an intuition. So I completely acknowledge that I could be so far from the truth. But I think that people who are more intelligent and can think things through better tend to be more moral.
Well, and Shifty Eyes brings up even the state-owned prison systems, like they're their own. It's we pretend like it's just private prisons that are a problem. These government institutions have their own economic philosophy built in too, because they don't want it. These unions, the way they pack their own systems, they don't want to lose their own market share. If you want to think about it that way, they all bargain for their piece of the taxpayer dime, right? They all petition for a piece of the budget. There's no incentive for them to reduce the budget when it comes to the prison population, right? So there should be an incentive somehow that to reduce prison populations, we need to find a way to change the law for prisons where the incentive is that the populations of prisons are reduced and crime rates are reduced.
Prisons also need to be centered around actual rehabilitation.
Well, that's how you'd have to do that. Rehabilitation. So crime rates are reduced. So prison populations are reduced. So we let people go as soon as we know that the recidivism rate is going down. But as Batman pointed out, we need to do more research to be able to determine when people are going to reoffend. But we don't have a lot of data because we don't care.
Actually, we do have quite a bit of data on recidivism.
We do.
We do on crime in general. And one of the biggest indicators of crime in a region is going to be wealth inequality, things like poverty, destitution, levels of wealth inequality. When those things are higher, crime is higher. Crime and violence are inextricably linked to wealth.
We have recidivism data, but
poverty.
we have recidivism data. That wasn't the point. The point is, how do we rehabilitate people so they don't reoffend? That's the point. So where's the research in how do we rehabilitate people? Do we just create UBIs? I'm a fan, or do you think just a reverse tax? Like,
well,
maybe
I think a UBI would be a phenomenal program in the United States, and I think that you would see massive amounts of economic growth and drop in crime if we were to do something like that.
We should leverage the fact that we own the world currency, and say fuck the rest of the world, and create a UBI, right?
Well, the other thing you also have to take into account is, yes, you can help those people that already, have gotten in trouble, but at the same time, we should be building places and allowing many different ways of helping people be like when they feel like they're going down the wrong road, they can get the help they need, because there are a lot of places that still can't exist yet, to actually help people that feel like they're going down a bad road to actually get the help they need. So that's another problem, is sometimes people have to push themselves to get in trouble to then actually get the help they need, because they have no place to go.
That's the problem with this country. We just don't have very strong support systems in place for our citizens. We don't offer a lot with respect to just helping people, providing for people's basic needs.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but it's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, negative income tax, I think a UBI scheme would be better, just as straight. Rich people don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, I would say
maybe
there should be an income cap on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sorry, if you're making $250,000 a year, you don't need extra money.
Yeah.
Well, could Ted Bundy be rehabilitated? Maybe.
I don't know. I thought he had some mental stuff going on.
Yeah, maybe he could have been rehabilitated. I don't know.
But people with mental problems can also be like permanently separated from like society and still be treated and be able to live with dignity.
If you ask me, should he have been killed? Should he have gotten the death penalty? My answer is no.
I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't like the state having the power to choose who gets to live and who gets to die the minute you end up in a prison.
Yeah.
Or the minute, you committed a crime.
And not just that, but it's like, somebody goes and kills a bunch of people and then you turn around and you kill them. I'm like, well,
that's telling people a lot.
It's like,
exactly.
Aren't you a murderer too? You just murdered that person. Like, no, it's not the same. And it's like, well, I mean, you had the intent to end that person's life.
It's not murder. Intentional killing is not murder. So. Murder is an immoral killing.
Well, it's the unjustified killing of specifically a human being by specifically another human being. Yeah. Which is why when vegans talk about murdering all these animals, I'm like, nope, they're not being murdered, being killed, but not murdered. Can't murder a fucking cow.
Death penalty by definition is a justified killing because we decided.
Well, but what about people who got the death penalty who didn't deserve it, like Emmett Till? Was that justified? I don't think it was. I think the state murdered Emmett Till.
Or that one guy who almost got.
We could get it wrong. I mean, we could be negligent. That's the problem with it. If we're negligent, and then the other problem with that, sometimes if we're not negligent, we just don't give a shit. We do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're racist assholes. Wrong.
I mean, that's what happened to I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a black guy who was living in California, was accused of doing a crime. And of course, our vice president was in charge at that time of that kind of stuff. And luckily they stopped at the last minute, because he was innocent and he almost got executed for it, So, and supposedly from what I read is that she didn't necessarily 100% know, but there was enough evidence showing that, you know, he was innocent. So, you know, that's the other thing is if people are going to go down that route, which I don't agree we should, you know, you need to really make sure you have everything crossed out, like have done everything.
I don't agree with punishment at all. Like Globerman, like I don't think judicial I don't think the response to immoral acts should be punishment. I think it should be restitutionary justice.
I agree. I did restorative justice. Transformative justice, restorative justice are necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing I wanted to add too is I was thinking about the Central Park Five, which was another horrendous, egregious thing of justice in New York, where these innocent young men were accused of this horrible crime, and they didn't do it at all. And unfortunately, the former President Trump said that they should bring death penalty back to New York to.
And they should be the first to get it, I think, or something like that.
Yes, which is horrendous.
Yeah, another thing I want to add is there are courts that will be presented with legitimate, damning evidence that somebody convicted was innocent, and the courts literally will see this and go, "We don't care."
Oh, gotta make money.
And a lot of this stuff is very notorious in the South when the person who's been convicted is not white.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, we found that usually the reasons for the death penalty are for people that commit crimes that are so abhorrent, but the people commit the crimes because they don't care the consequences anyway, so there's no deterrence for the death penalty. They don't care.
So they shouldn't be killed.
Yeah. Ted Bundy did not care. Ted Bundy thought when they asked Ted Bundy's a great case because he answered a lot of questions. Now, whether he was entirely truthful or not, whatever. But Ted Bundy, they asked him which was like more morally wrong, murdering somebody and the other stuff he did, or jaywalking. Anybody know how he answered that?
Probably said jaywalking.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he said no. He said they were both the same.
Wrong.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you need to look at, you know, how was his upbringing and stuff, because we've had some serial killers that had, you know, some crazy religious nuts that scared them so bad into stuff. I forget his exact name off the top of my head, but there was one case, one of our biggest serial killers, not like at the really top of the list, but he had an aunt that, you know, when he was in his bedroom, you know, doing things boys do, you know, his aunt like got in his face saying you're going to go to hell for doing that and stuff, and brainwashed him so bad he started to remove stuff from other boys in the neighborhood, and eventually got worse and worse. I mean, he was sticking needles in that area and everything. I mean, like, that's the other thing is also the upbringing or the way that the brain has been wired.
The environment.
You know, yeah, the environment. So, you know, that's the other thing we have to take into account is, yes, what some people do is not okay. And I'll say that, you know, but I always want to know what led them to that position, what happened in their life that screwed them up, you know, because that's the other thing. That's why I say culture and environment has to be changed, you know, so that people understand they're dealing with something and also get the help they need in time, you know. But it seems like a lot of people, you know, kind of, they go, well, why should I have to change? Other people should have to change. And I say, no, we all have to change. We can't just have some people change and some people not. You know, we all have to collectively come together and be like, no, something is wrong. We need to change things. I mean, that's why I'm been working so hard with my business, you know, because I want to set up facilities that are different than the normal stuff to tackle the out of control suicide rate in this country, because I've already lost 9 people in my life.
Jesus.
You know, and I'm not even 40 yet. And 2 of them were the first one was my mother, and the last one happened in 2018 was my soulmate. So, you know, And that rate is now the highest in U.S. history compared to the 1950s. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we need to do a lot of things. I think a UBI would be a good thing. I think we need to destigmatize.
I also think universal healthcare. Universal healthcare and a UBI, I think, are two of probably the biggest things we could do for the people in this country.
Destigmatize mental health. We need to look at institutionalizing people that are on the streets and need mental health care until they're safe to go back. I've lost, you know what's sad? I lost another brother recently to drugs. Probably it sounds like cocaine laced with fentanyl, or probably crack cocaine laced with fentanyl. And he finally decided to get off the streets. He has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And he told his therapist he was going to do some coke. And, you know, then he died from an overdose. But you don't die from an overdose from coke. Unless it has something else in it.
Yeah, I was going to say that might have been something else.
Well, unless it was crack. You could die from crack, I guess, if it's laced with something bad.
Well, and the other thing I will say is like rehab centers, like the one in my area, well, actually quite a few in my area. A friend of mine, you know, was trying to get, you know, their brother clean, you know, but the rehab center, now check this out, wanted to charge them $1,000 a day to help him. Who has that kind of money if you're just getting by? Like that is ridiculous. $1,000 a day. Like, I'm sorry, but like, shouldn't the purpose be like to help these people, not make profit?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, he lived on the streets for the last like 20 years. He should have been institutionalized and helped. So he did. His brothers, every time he got like stable on his meds, because of his schizophrenia, his paranoid schizophrenia, he saw demons. Can you imagine that? Like, you see demons attacking you, and you pull out your invisible knife and fight off the demons. And
if you saw the Max Payne movie, that's what happens in it.
You're telling me that I could have been born a demon slayer, man?
Doom.
So he decided, his brothers that are dead now because of suicide by cop, they both had other issues. One suicide by cop, another one weed laced with fentanyl.
Yeah, I was gonna say that definitely something else on that.
Yeah. Unless it fell on him and it was like a box of it, like a huge ass crate.
Yeah. Which has happened apparently.
Anyways.
Apparently.
I've done many rants about weed on here, people, but if you got schizophrenia or mania, which my one brother did, you shouldn't be smoking weed.
Yeah. That I'll agree with. Because there's actually research into that showing that it actually can make it worse.
But they kept convincing him to stop taking his schizophrenia meds and self-medicate on weed. And so he'd end up on the streets again. And he ended up on the streets for like 20-some years. Yeah. Check out Schizophrenic Art. Yeah. He used to sing. He had like this, one of those channels where he did music and stuff. Probably Max would know what it is. He'd do these songs where he used to sing about weed and stuff like that. It's so dumb. Anyways, but he just passed like a couple weeks ago. But he should have been institutionalized so he would stay on his med. He got trained to be like a welder. He got a job making like $25 an hour, and this was like 20 years ago. And then he ended up back on the streets. He was known for like stacking pebbles and stuff like that. So there were 5 of us. All like my mom had 5 of us. Now there's 2, and I'm the oldest. It's schizophrenia, dude. Like mental illness. And
there aren't many cases of people becoming a Christian and my schizophrenia, it's gone. That's not how it works. That is the schizophrenia speaking. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Wait. We're all Christian.
Just like, actually, one thing I've always thought about, I think it was Abraham, the one that was
Wait,
gonna, like,
no, I want to address this. Really important. This is very important. Chris, all three of those brothers were very angry at me because I was atheist. All three of those brothers were Christian. Literally, the one that just died fought off demons for God.
He was literally a demon slayer, dude.
I took him, like one of his episodes when our mother passed away, when he was having the episode, I took him to the church to pray with him, with the pastor there. I prayed with him so he could settle down, so he didn't have to fight off the demons. And he actually was rubbing his face raw. So yeah, praying to God does not cure you from schizophrenia.
Not just that, but I know there's been a lot of cases when it comes to like exorcisms that, you know, a lot of the people ended up dying, and it turned out they had stuff like schizophrenia and other stuff.
I'm probably the only one who gets that joke. I'm sorry, guys.
I know who.
Cameron. Capturing Christianity. Yeah, he's posted like over the last month or so. Like, no, Cameron Bertuzzi. He runs the channel Capturing Christianity. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's pretty.
No, never heard of it.
Popular.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised by that. But yeah, in like the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's posted like 6 or 8 videos on exorcisms and demons and all this stuff. And that's why when you mentioned demons, or rather exorcisms, I was like, easy there, Capturing Christianity. I don't like talking about it because it's just, I don't know, man. Clearly, it's not demons. Like, it's not magical spirits haunting your body. Like, that's just not how the world
And plus,
works.
it only happens to religious people for some reason.
Yeah, and it's funny how whatever's possessing you is always different depending on which religion you are.
This is also weird. All of my brothers, those 3 brothers, were the raging brothers. The brothers that experienced rage, anger. I still have scars on my arms where they 50 years later or almost.
Yeah, Shifty Eyes, that's true. Like when I shit on my neighbor's doorstep, that's probably a felony.
And they have felonies.
And I do it 3 times a day.
Those 3 brothers all had felonies. Those 3 brothers all spent time in prison. Those 3 brothers all had trouble with drugs. Those 3 brothers all thought I was evil because I was an atheist, and they were all Christians. And those 3 brothers are all dead from drugs. And I'm the atheist.
Yeah. Now I will
saying that I'm the atheist. I'm healthy. They found God, supposedly. They're dead. So I don't have these problems. I don't rage. I don't use drugs. Never have. I used marijuana 13 times between like 16, 17 years old.
You're telling me you actually counted it out? Come on. It was probably like somewhere around 13.
It was, it was around 13. I had to count it because I had to tell him on my enlistment paperwork when I joined the Navy. So I remember for my enlistment paperwork, they said put under 13. So under 13. So I said around, because I counted about 13 times. And then I stopped drinking alcohol on my 21st birthday because I got in trouble in the Navy for drinking. And then I didn't drink for a while. And then I started drinking like every once in a while, like 5 years later. And then I don't drink at all now. I haven't drinking anything for like 5 years because I get gout. And gout
sucks.
Yeah, really bad. So I don't drink at all. Because I finally realized why it always felt like I had broken toes my whole life every once in a while. Because I was getting gout attacks. I didn't know it. And I just didn't know. So I don't drink.
So you smoke weed, Negrumps?
I don't smoke weed. I hate weed. It makes me feel weird. I did acid.
That means it's working, man.
I did acid like 4 or 5 times about the same period of time. So I don't do any of that stuff. And so and I'm an atheist. And I debate when I do debates, I steel man Christianity.
Dude, I need to get a debate with a Christian on modern day debate. It's been too long. I want to debate like, do you need God for morality, or I really want to debate evidence of God just on does God exist?
Yeah, I was gonna say him.
That would be a lot of fun. But I'd do the morality debate with him too.
Did you see my debate yesterday with T-Rock? People think
I
I'm
think
a
I saw
Christian
parts
now.
of it.
Ozan, you dang Christian. How dare you lie about being an atheist, you liar.
Satan doesn't control me. If Satan controlled me, why don't I have all these other issues that my brothers who were Christian had? Because they're dead. The only other brother who's alive isn't a Christian. He's an atheist. Why are the 2 atheists alive? And all the Christian and nice, like all the angry brothers, the angry ones are gone.
I'm going to tell you why, because it's left behind. They're being raptured and you're stuck here on Earth. You're stuck here on Earth until you become a Christian and you join Kirk Cameron.
So the angry ones were the non-practicing Christians. The nice atheist is still alive. I love it. I love it. It has nothing to do with like being a Christian or atheist for being nice or not nice.
Yeah.
I'm just
plus from what I've seen, you know, and again, this isn't all Christians, but anytime I've gone to like certain events or even walk in front of Planned Parenthood or other things, there's always some Christians out there with, you know, their megaphone or their giant speaker, you know, telling people they're going to go to hell if they
their sign.
do certain things. Yeah. Like I went to the Pride event here in my town, like I think it was last weekend. And, you know, eventually they showed up and there they were standing on that side of the fence being like, you're going to hell. It's like, go away.
I genuinely think a lot of these fundamentalist Christians revel in the fact that the people that they don't like will suffer forever. I do. I'm sorry, but I genuinely do. Otherwise, it wouldn't be such a fucking selling point for them.
Yeah.
Dominion of God. And I believe a lot of this stuff is true, that it's a life. I don't think it has anything to do with Christianity. I think it's the life. It's how you live your life determines how you express your life. And I don't think you have to be Christian to be a good person. My brothers had mental illnesses, and they couldn't have as much control over how they lived their lives because of their sicknesses. And it had a lot to do with my mom with the paranoid schizophrenic. She suffered a lot. My dad repeatedly had her raped by his friends. She was.
Is your dad still alive?
Nope.
Good.
Yep. My
He's not breathing our air anymore.
Nope.
Fucking piece of shit.
Oh, he did more than that. He put my brothers on the streets when they were 8, 9, 10 years old. They were forced into prostitution by other people.
I add to why they needed help. That's why we need mental asylums. We need to help support
and this
people.
Is why that I think having children, I really hate to say this because it kind of bothers me, but I think at the end of the day, there may be some like that it's very much justified. where like you don't get to just have children. You have to like go through like certain psych examinations, and your house has to be inspected and all that stuff, because I'm sick and fucking tired of children being raised in abusive households. I'm fucking sick of it. And it's way more common than we think it is.
Well, 70% of adults in the United States still think spanking is okay. It's not abuse.
My stepmother said, well, apparently they were doing a good job because I turned out so good.
Oh, fucking God, man.
I wanted to just like throw
these people walk amongst us. You guys know this. They breathe our fucking air.
Well, it's just like all the people I run into when I tell them that spanking is a form of abuse. They go, well, I was spanked as a kid and I turned out fine. I'm like, no, you didn't. And like,
my dad, my last conversation with my dad was my Ed, one of my brothers, was staying with me, the one that died with the weed and fentanyl overdose on the bus. And he said, well, he shouldn't be there. And I'm like, well, he's here. Well, he has anger problems. He always yells at us and tells us how horrible we are. Well, you are. You're a horrible person. He was like 8, 9 years old when you abandoned him to the streets. You know what his response was?
What's that?
He said, well, he chose to go on the streets.
Okay.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Dad, I've raised 3 children to be adults. Today, my 3 children have a place they can live. As adults, they will never be abandoned to the streets. Guess what? An 8-year-old can never make the choice to live on the streets because I would never allow them to. You are a worthless piece of shit. You should be down on your knees begging and apologizing for his forgiveness for doing that to him when he was 8 years old. But you're blaming him. He should despise you and hate you for the rest of his life. And with that, I never want to talk to you again. Boom.
You know what's interesting? Yeah. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
To what Leo was saying before, too, is that I think it's so important that I'm actually doing a social work program right now. And it's really important that we get resources for people and we do support people. And the tragedy that you shared is so horrendous. And I think what it shows us is this is a part of the tapestry that we live in, because there's so many people that I think have similar stories to you and they're unheard, you know. And the tragedy is that you hear certain people in politics saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You are responsible for everything. And you're really not. A lot of these things aren't your fault. And, you know, I think we need to reinforce the position that you are enough. You're not some bad, low-class person because you don't have resources or you don't have the great job and you don't have lots of money. I think it's really important that we say, you know, human life has value and we need to care about that. And we need to focus on that instead of just saying, well, you know, whatever bad thing happened, you deserved it. That's such a horrible philosophy. And if someone has religious theology, so that's what I feel.
Yeah, rugged individualism pisses me off. We need communities. We need friends. We need families. We need teachers. We need these people, and we need connections with them. This rugged individualism has always been one of the deal breakers with me in conservatism. Out of the billions that there are, what the fuck? I was gonna say something else, and I can't even remember what it was. Of course not.
A combination of both. Like you should be an individual and you should have a community to
yeah, of course,
be a part. Like I bootstrapped all my children. All my children got bootstrapped, and then I retired. when I got unhealthy. Like, the hell with this.
I think the bizarre thing too is about Christianity in the mixture of this. It's like, if people know the Christian narrative, it's the opposite of what I see a lot of the Christians in the United States pushing. Christianity is supposed to be about compassion and empathy, and that's, the central figure of Christ. But then I see people who are nothing like that. They have this completely, it's like they have an antichrist that is their protagonist. It's not Christ. They say, hey, we believe in Jesus and all this stuff, but they're like, we're into capital punishment. We're out to like people suffering on the street. And I'm like, what religion is this? I don't know what religion you're following, because it doesn't seem like from this text, it doesn't seem like it follows. So,
And don't forget, a lot of them are supportive of war, even if they say they don't.
Which is not Christian either. That's not a Christian value.
But hey, if you want to get an abortion, you're a horrible human being. God, I always hated that I always bring that up. I'm like, well, do you support all these things? They're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, but you're going to say someone's a horrible human being for getting an abortion in an early state. Like, I get confused on that one.
Yeah.
Plus, there's that narrative. Oh, go ahead.
I want to be here for the next 30 years doing shows like this. So I want to be the oldest living person in my family ever. 30 years will do that.
You want to know how you can get there? Smoke
by having God.
I hate the way it makes me feel.
I know.
You gotta have God in your heart.
I don't like losing control.
Why is it that God's always got to be in your heart? Like, with men who have an erectile dysfunction, wouldn't you rather God be in your balls?
You know why? Because
give you the hardest stiffy in your life.
They thought so. If you look at the narrative in the Bible, I've done some literary interpretation of the Bible, read some of it recently. So that used to be God was in your gut, then God moved to your heart, and the reason why they changed is because we used to think that we thought with your gut, then we used to think we thought with your heart, until we figured out you thought with your brain. But the truth of the matter is, we do think with your gut and your heart and your brain, because we have neurons in your gut, heart, and brain, and that's
and
true.
for men, the second brain.
No. In reality, he's making fun about your penis. He tried to do a penis joke. It fell flat.
Yeah, but how many neurons are in that head? Because it's got to be a lot. Because a lot of dudes just think with their dicks. Like, let's just be.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is there are a lot of people that do think like that?
There are actual neurons in your gut, heart, and brain. Well, most of them are in your brain.
And then the gut has a lot of neurons, actually.
How did we know that? Like, when people used to think we thought with our gut, there was some truth to that.
Yeah, but it's not like they knew it. It's that the gut was kind of seen as like the center of the body, the center of who you are. That's where all your thinking and stuff is done.
When do you think it's your eyes? Because that's where your perception is. I don't know.
Who knows, man? Who knows what these old ass humans were thinking?
Do we think eyes today just because we know, or do we think eyes today because? I mean, probably because we've been taught it's the brain.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. But it is weird. Like, we have neurons in the gut, we have neurons in the heart, we have neurons in the brain. So we do think with all three. Boom. But that's where it comes from. So the Bible, the story of the Bible changes from gut to heart, but the truth is when the brain. So you should have God in your brain, not your heart. When they said heart, they meant brain. There. Literary interpretation. I should be a pastor. I actually am. I am hungry. I think with that, I think we should do closing statements and move on, because we're way off topic, even though it's fun. Tomorrow, though, I'm going to do a debate review for 4th of July fireworks show of the wonderful satanic Nemos versus Fight the Flat Earth. And in this case, Craig did bring like the Satan killer fight the flat Earth versus the evil Nemus. It's sort of funny. And then the moderator was a boxer, and he's a moon landing denier. It's sort of funny. So I'm going to do a debate review on that tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys can check it out. Anything else anybody wants to say?
I might, depending on what time it's at.
8 p.m.
I actually have something to say. I hope we can have more deeper conversations. Like, I'm going to just be transparent. I think this flat Earth globe stuff is stupid. Like, I've seen so much of it, and quite honestly, it's not impressive. It doesn't have depth. And I actually kind of liked hearing Ross because he was just funny. Like, he was joking around and having a good time, but like people who really believe this, it's kind of lost its luster and its appeal.
Yeah.
There's nothing interesting about it. Like, what we're talking about now is really deep. What's going on in our society? Is it good? Is it bad? That's
How can we fix it?
Yeah. How do we fix it? What are better solutions for our future? What is going on in our reality? That's so much deeper than this fake thing that we know is not real, And it's like, what benefit does it have? It's just, I don't know. It's like verbal diarrhea. That's the way what I think about it, just to be honest with you. And I'm like, what we talked about tonight, I think was so good. And I wish modern day debates would focus on real conversations. I get that, you might get lots of hits, but I also think you want to have a good brand that showcases depth, not breadth. That's what I have.
And speaking on that, I will say I'm not sure if I think they're still running, but there's a British debate show that exists, and like they actually get into some deeper stuff. Yeah, I mean, ultimately they have, they talk about some certain topics, but they get a lot deeper because they allow, especially the audience, to bring in their own stuff as well. But because it's like, modern day debates for me was fun in the beginning, but it's seeming like they're kind of sticking on the same topics over and over and over again, and it gets kind of boring after a while.
On that note, there's something I want to share with you guys.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
Well, that's not inappropriate.
Oh, okay. Good.
Ozian must be looking at something.
Yeah, I am. What am I missing?
I would totally debate that. I'm not gonna say it came from a bat, but all of these are just like notify me, so those are not posted yet. So let's start with posted. Flat Earth debate, flat Earth debate, flat Earth debate, moon landing hoax, moon landing hoax, moon landing hoax, moon landing hoax, flat versus globe, flat versus globe.
Well, you skipped the ones I said about religion.
Religion.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make a point here. Flat versus globe, flat versus globe. So like look at all flat versus globe, moon landing hoax, flat versus globe. Like look at it, it's nothing but flat earth debates, moon landing debates sprinkled in with the typical atheist versus some religious person. Like I want to see more substance. And it's just a legitimate criticism of modern day debate. I like the channel, but I don't want to see the same topics every fucking week.
Even the bullshit one there about did man walk with dinosaurs, they promote it as creationist versus atheism.
Yeah.
How's that creationist versus atheism? I was upset.
Who knows?
I told Ryan that. How is this an atheist debate? This is not an atheist debate. And I'm not going to debate for atheism. This is not a God debate. This is, did man walk with dinosaurs? But the way they framed it, and then a bunch of people were they're looking for an atheist like to debate that God doesn't exist. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to debate God doesn't exist.
I would love to debate that.
Yeah, me too. But it was framed as, did man walk with dinosaurs?
Oh. Like, yeah, see, stuff like that, just not even remotely. I just don't care. I don't care. It's not an interesting topic to me.
Yeah, but to me, it was like a literary interpretation. Like, to me, it's interesting debate topic. It's different. It's not about science, but everybody thinks this is science debate. How is it a science debate? Like, we're talking about the Bible. We're not talking about science. we're not talking about atheism. We're talking about how do we interpret the Bible. So that's how I approach the debate. But like everybody gets triggered. No, the audience doesn't want to hear how do you interpret the Bible. Everybody gets upset. I think that goes to Isa's point. Like, how do I promote a show? Like, what about the audience? Did the audience want it just to hear it, like societal problems? Like, I don't know. Like on prison reform, that'd be a good show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, I think at some point, because a lot of things I see, they kind of focus on things that everybody else is doing, and I think people get so used to it, that's all they want to hear. But I think by actually doing more deep, meaningful stuff, to kind of bring people out of that mindset they've been kind of programmed to think like, it could actually do more good. Like for me, myself, I have my own way that I've come up with to help tackle the homeless problem and even the suicide thing, but the thing I find is when I've mentioned it to a lot of people, they just always go, well, how are you going to solve this? How are you going to solve that? And it's like, well, I just come up with an idea. Like, I need help with that. Like, why aren't people saying, hey, I like your idea. What can I do to help? Because that's what I'm trying to do.
That's because you're presupposing this. You already think it's a good idea, but other people don't necessarily.
I have a question. Does anybody know if there's ever been a moral realism versus moral anti-realism debate on modern day debate? I don't think there ever has.
Oh, we've done it here.
Yeah, but like, those are the kind of debates I want to see. Like, I want to see some more of these deeper political topics and philosophical topics being discussed. I just don't. But the thing is that all the moon landing hoax and geocentrism and flat Earth and these are what I guess get the views.
Because he only get 5,000 views for those debates, and then he removes them.
And then what?
He removes them from the channel. Like he might remove that one I just did. Let's see.
Wait, you're saying that if a video doesn't get more than 5,000 views, he just removes it?
He removes some of them, yeah.
Okay.
Like all the ones that say podcast only at the front are ones they've removed.
Yeah, and put on the podcast. Yeah. I mean, I get that. It's an attempt to funnel traffic to his podcast.
Well, because he got very little views here. That's why he moved them to the podcast. But like, how are they going to drive it to the podcast? I don't know. Whatever.
I just think it's better to have better dialogues. Like, I think there's no risk, no reward. So if you don't try these different topics, how do you know that they're not going to land? I think if we keep focusing on, I mean, how many countless flat Earth and globe debates have there been in the last month? It's just
with all the same people.
And it's like, and it's not even, they're not good. Like, you listen to Evidence of God, and I'm like, what kind of arguments are these? Like, when he talked about slime molds, about the ark, like, if I was Evidence of God debating that, first of all, I would lay out my case of who Noah is, what the ark is about. None of that was done.
They're not academic.
None of that was done. Huh?
They're not academic debates.
I'm saying it wasn't even close to getting. I mean, even there was no storytelling. It's just we jumped right into some point, and I'm like, this is just boring. Like to tell a story. I love storytelling. That's my thing. You have to frame your narrative, and that's what a debate is, whether it's academic or not. Having a conversation, you have to frame your story. Where does your story start? Where does it end? And then think about like movies and storytelling through movies. A good movie is a movie that has a coherent narrative. If you make a movie that you just jump here and you jump there and you have no arc, you can do your arc in different ways. It doesn't have to be a linear way, but you have to have some kind of arc, and you have to have some coherency. And a lot of these conversations, there's no coherency, and that's a problem.
Here's Sydney's point, though, too. Like, there's tons of politics, societal woe, human angst, and drama shows on the interwebs. There are a lot of platforms that do all that stuff. Destiny, all these other channels, Bosch, do all that stuff, and some people do just want to watch the Bigfoot debate.
Yeah. Well, I will say one channel, ever since they kind of switched things up and started doing more like deeper stuff, Jubilee. I kind of wish they'd do more instead of the other stuff they typically do, or at least make a separate channel and do more. But like they get into some deeper stuff, and it's really nice to actually find something that's a little bit deeper, where they'll like get like, for instance, like they did one on trans rights, which I thought was great, and they actually had people that were trans and then people that were religious, and they kind of ask them questions and see who steps forward. Then they find out why they think that way, and then they actually have a real conversation, and they're polite, they're kind to each other, because they're told that you have to be respectful to people, whether you agree or disagree with them, but it's really nice the kind of deeper conversations they have about things going on or what people are going through. And and I'm trying to remember that British debate show. I haven't watched it in a while, but they also did the same thing, but they didn't focus on one point. So
well, we have room for other branded shows on here too, but I want to start doing like live streams for like certain types of tests, hopefully invite flat earthers and people that deny certain claims to come on and do that, so and be more engaged in that part of it, so not necessarily like a debate, but we'll see what happens. But I found that that's sort of my brand anyways. I've sort of been typecast, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As the fat Glober. I'm not that fat. Fuck you all. Anyways, with that, we're going to end it here. I think everybody got the closing remarks in. Unless you want to say
subscribe,
something,
and join the
Julie.
Discord.
Okay,
I just remember, folks, we're guys. We keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man, in case he comes to town.
If you didn't know, we have a store. I think Issa bought everything we sell at the store. I know.
And you can get dirt for your pillow that put under it for the dirt man, in case he comes to town.
Let me show. I haven't showed the store for a long time. Let me show the store.
Everybody's just ignoring me.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying anymore. My store isn't showing here. Well, I'm going to shill my stuff because I haven't shilled my stuff for a while. Where's my store at? Oh, here it is. View your channel. Store!
that was weird, Leo, but you're a weird guy, so it's fine. True.
Share screen.
Dirt man. You got to keep a little dirt under your pillow for the dirt man. Just go to YouTube, type in dirt man song. You'll know what I'm talking about.
You look at all this cool stuff in the store. It's showing all the female stuff. So if you like female clothing, or you want to get some matters now because they matter to you now, and the logo is different. So you can get this logo if you want it, as I'm modeling this for you right now. But the new ones don't have the square one. I removed that for a lot of them. But you can get this one, as you can see, with some of the logos. But you can get coffee cups, all types of stuff, all different. I just added everything. Get hats, but you can just click on the store and open it up, and you can like just select. If you want to see it modeled by different models, you can like see what it looks like on different models.
Show me a 6'6" big ass black guy.
Yeah, you can probably if you can find him. There. Anyways, and so you can look at accessories to see buttons. Look, you can buy buttons. And
yeah, we don't. It's frozen on my end.
Yeah.
Share this tab.
There you go.
Now you can see the buttons. You can buy buttons and stuff, and then you can
really,
let's see.
Speaking of
really
buttons,
are from
I'm
a different generation, aren't you? Buttons instead of buttons. Buttons.
Isn't that how you say it? Look, you
I
can
say
get
buttons
shorts
because I'm from the Midwest.
And it has different double XLs, tank tops. Look, I'll buy this and wear it on stream.
How much for the buff guy?
How much for the buff guy? I don't know. Just send me OnlyFans money. Organic products. If you like organic products.
So do you like subscribe to this site and then they make the clothes for you?
Yeah, and they give me like 30% or something like that.
Okay. I have a quick question for Issa. I don't know if he's there or not. He might be AFK. Oh no, there he is.
He's got to find the mute button.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here.
So,
What's up?
do you live in the United States of America?
I do. I'm a Philadelphia.
What? You live okay. So say bag.
Huh?
Say bag.
What, bag?
No, bag. Like BAG, say bag.
Oh, bag?
Yes, did you hear the way you say it? We don't say it like that in the Midwest. We got bags.
Oh,
He's
bag.
got bags.
Oh, I
He's got
say bag.
bags.
You call it a
y'all,
bag.
y'all got bags. We call them bags.
In Philadelphia, we have this word for
I'm in the Northwest.
water. We say water. We call water water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah, Philadelphia has its own accent.
Do you guys use wash rags too?
Wash rags?
Wash rags. Yeah.
That's in Washington.
Washington. Washington.
Yeah, I grew up in Spokane, Washington.
Everybody Spokane. Spokane.
Spokane.
Is water wetter in Philadelphia? I don't know.
You got some water? I need me a glass. Well, I say soda, but most people in the Midwest say pop. Just like, have you ever heard somebody say milk? You ever heard somebody say milk with an E instead of milk with an I? I gotta pour me a glass of milk instead of milk.
All right, I was going to end this stream a while ago. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
I keep getting off into weird ass.
I think we're going to derailing, but thank you everybody for all the lovely super chats, all the lovely guests. We were going to end this like an hour ago, but we got in some cool dialogues. I shared another family, the drug death. What the hell? I only got one brother left.
Batteries
well, actually, I have
batteries.
stepbrothers.
Just make sure you stay away from Christianity.
All the rest of my brothers are atheists. So. Anyways, take care, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Don't forget to replace your batteries.
Like, share, subscribe.